very warm welcome to each one of you present here. It is a matter of our extreme privilege and delight to once again back into the action, hosting wonderful friends from overseas after a break of 2 years. In continuation of vision of our respected founder president, chancellor, spearheaded by our group vice chancellor, our mandate is to bring the world to the amity and take amity to the world. And in this series, today we are so privileged and honored to have a very high power delegation from University of Ottawa, led by President Dr. Jex Fremont and Vice President Professor Sunny Yaya with us here. Please join me for welcoming him. I will be very briefly introducing our guests today. Dr. Jex Fremont, President, University of Ottawa, Canada. He is President and a Vice Chancellor of the University of Ottawa. Dr. Fremont was formerly at the University of Montreal, where he was Dean of the School of Law, as well as Provost and Vice Rector, Academic Affairs, until 2010. Throughout his career, Dr. Fremont has advised various international organizations on issues involving human rights, good governance, and democracy. Please join me in welcoming him once again. We also have Vice President Professor Sunny Yaya. He is a career professor and an accomplished researcher. He is a full professor at the School of International Development and Global Studies at the University of Ottawa and holds a Senghor Research Chair in Health and Development. Professor Yaya holds a degree in Sociology, Anthropology, and Management, and he has received his PhD in Economics and Public Policy from the joint doctoral program that brings together the four leading Montreal University, HEC Montreal, Concordia, UQAM, and McGill. Please join me in welcoming Professor Yaya. We also have with us our own Dr. Selva-Murthy. He's presently working with the Amity University as the President, Amity Science and Technology and Innovation Foundation, Director General for Amity Directorate of Science, Innovation, and Chancellor, Amity University, Chhattisgarh. Dr. Selva-Murthy has served Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, Government of India for 40 years, in which all health-related and life science-related technologies were developed and inducted in the armed forces for keeping the health efficiency of soldiers even in the extreme operational environment. He has been a member of the Indian delegation to World Health Assembly under the chairmanship of Health Minister to speak about the complementary systems of medicine, including yoga. He has represented our country at the Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapon, OPCW, at the conference State Parties Executive Council Working Group and Confidentiality Commission. He has been awarded a number of prestigious research awards, including CSI National Award and SNT Innovation, presented by Honorable Prime Minister of India in 2012. Academician Mirsad Mirakhimov Award for contribution to high altitude medicine from Kyrgyz Republic 2012. Technology Leadership Award by DRDO 2010, presented by Defense Minister. Lifetime Achievement Award from Honorable President of India in the field of clinical and preventive cardiology 2006. ICMR Shakuntala Amir Chand Award 1986, and many more. Please welcome him, Dr. Selva-Murthy. And before I hand over to him for the rest of the proceeding, we also have our Honorable Group Vice Chancellor joining live from an odd hours from Toronto at this stage, and he has made sure that he is there leading this initiative. And Professor Singh has been, our Group Vice Chancellor, has been instrumental in bringing both the university to this stage, and we are thankful for creating this very strategic partnership in Canada. Sir, we welcome you from Toronto, And
yeah, Dr. Manoj, very warm welcome to Professor Fremont, who is a very good friend, and Professor Yaya. Today is indeed a historical day, but it's more historical, Professor Fremont, because our founder, President, Dr. Chauhan, and our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, are also watching this event live. Over to you, Dr. Salamuddin.
over to you, sir.
Very good morning to each and every one of you who has gathered here, both in person as well as online. Our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, Dr. Atul Chauhan, the Chancellor, the President of our foundation, Pritanand Balve, the Education Foundation, which gives cover to all our educational institutions, Professor Gurinder Singh, our distinguished guest today, Professor Jacques Fremont, the President and Vice Chancellor of a very distinguished university, which is a high ranked in Canada as well as at the global level, the University of Ottawa, and also Professor Sunny Aya, the Vice President International, and who is a very distinguished scholar. And in many domains, you will listen to him, particularly in the health-related issues and governance, health governance issues. He has played a very, very important role. So I have great pleasure in welcoming both the distinguished guests from University of Ottawa, where we have signed an MOU. And now this is time for us to harness, launch initiatives and make it operational. So this visit, Professor, as we discussed, that this is the time for us, the post-COVID, everything is very conducive, the vibrant India and the National Education Policy 2020, everything is very conducive for the exchange of students, starting many initiatives, joint degrees, dual degrees, and also mobility of our faculties and students. So this visit is very, very important. Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, and the Chancellor, they spoke to me in the morning and yesterday, and they are very keen to look into the fruitful outcome of your visit over here. And so that we will show results now, how many students will move from here, what degree programs we will launch together. So this is very exciting visit, and we welcome you to Amity. The National Education Policy is focusing on internationalization in the big way. The present government of India has attached tremendous importance for internationalization, because unless we have the best of West, best of East coming together, we cannot really meet the emerging needs of our humanity. So that is why the National Education Policy is giving so much flexibility for us to look at all opportunities, what is available in the higher education domain, as well as in others. So the articulation, credit transfer, the joint degrees, dual degrees, campus in campus. We are looking forward to a campus in campus. You can have a campus here in our Amity University, and we can have a campus over there. Because Dr. Ashok Chauhan has a vision. He has set targets that in another 10 years, we will have 50 campuses abroad. Currently, we have 18 campuses abroad. So Dr. Chauhan's target is very clear, that we will have our presence in India in all states. There are 29 provinces. So we will have, now today we have only 12 states, we have our presence. So we will have soon that number to meet the requirements in India, and also 50, 18 has to become 50. So Canada is on the top of our list in terms of priority, which the Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, as well as the Founder President and Professor Gurinder Singh, our Group Vice Chancellor, has set in. So this visit is really going to be the path-breaking, I would say, to open up on ground to show results of our MOU, which has been signed a year ago. The other thing is, we also look at the study abroad program. Our students, again, Dr. Chauhan has a dream. Every one of our 200,000 students, which we have in our campuses, should have an exposure abroad, because he spent 28 years in Germany. So that is what transformed him. So he would like to send to Canada many students from Amity group, not only from Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, for the whole group. So the MOU which we have signed encompasses our collaboration with all campuses in India and abroad. So that is why this opportunity is tremendous window of opportunity. And also we are looking at collaboration in R&D, research and development. That's why I have brought brilliant brains over here, that you see the chairman of University Research Council sitting on the dais with you, the Dean Health Sciences, and we have the DG, and we have great innovator, Dr. V.K. Jain, who has made many innovations, and from the DRDO as well as in Amity, he has brought many innovation taken to industries and to the people. So such brilliant brains are here. We want to look at not only the student exchange, but also research collaboration. Because ultimately, universities too should also churn out the disruptive ideas and also the new thoughts as well as new concepts which will revolutionize human life. So that is why the research and development collaboration is another priority for us. So we will discuss about that. Now, India is very vibrant. The Indo-Canadian relationship has reached new pinnacles now. The strategic partnership, which is being built between two of our countries, is really providing the ample background for us, conducive environment ecosystem for us to launch on many initiatives. There's a political will there to build Indo-Canadian relationship. So we are discussing our collaboration under the MOU under this very great opportune time. India is growing vibrant. We have an economy, $2.8 trillion economy today. We want to make it 5 trillion. And we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance in technologies, because technology drives the doctrines of a nation, both in war and peace. So we want to bring those technologies in-house, indigenous. So we are looking at Atmanirbhar Bharat, that means self-reliant India in technologies. So we look forward to the partnership in those domains as well. Then we are also emerging as a strong military power as well, so that we have to defend our country. India never showed an aggressive posture on any country in the history of thousands of years. So we have that the genes of ahimsa in us, but then we need to secure our country because our country is growing. So the military strength we are building. We are building knowledge strength with more than 1,000 universities, more than 60,000 colleges, churning out millions of graduates, undergraduates from higher educational institutions. India is emerging as a knowledge superpower as well. So we are generating new concepts. And that is why, if you look at the publication, India is number 3 in terms of merit list globally in publication. In patents, we are number 9. Nature Index, we are number 7. Global Innovation Index, we are very poor in the sense that we are 46. We want to bring it to top 20. That's again, we want to learn from your experience that how do we bring such innovations working together in research and development domain as well. So there is an ample opportunity for us in the new vibrant India where industry is looking for indigenous technologies and solutions. So the major industries and then medium, small scale industries, startups, we are number 3 in startups in the world. So all these are very conducive for University of Ottawa and Amity Group to work together. So your visit is really going to open up the new avenues. We are going to discuss that concretely, that how are we going to execute it, we will discuss it. And also we want to have our presence in Canada. As I mentioned, that Canada is the country of destination. Our students, faculties, we are all convinced that in the global level, Canada is occupying the highest position in terms of priorities for our collaboration for students, faculties, research, innovation. So that is why this visit is important. We already have with the York University, Saskatchewan, we have been dialoguing, but then US is the most important for us. University of Toronto, we have been discussing. And in terms of Amity research, a little bit about Amity research. As I mentioned that today we have filed 1,700 patents, 1,700 patents. It all happened in the last 12 years, 10 to 12 years, because the university itself is young, 2005. So today we have 1,700 patents and 30,000 research publications in journals of repute, like Nature, Science, New England Journal of Medicine, and also Lancet, material horizon, advanced materials, IEEE journals. So we have publications, 30,000 publications. We have very many of our faculties are in the top 2% at the global level, as done by a Stanford global survey, in which 2% global scientists, there are about 20 scientists, faculties from Amity Group in that list. So that shows the repository of the knowledge in Amity University. When you look at the ranking, even though we are just 17 years young, our ranking, national ranking is 25. That is, for a young university like us, it's exponential growth. We are national ranking 25. In pharmacy, we are number 11 in the country. So in the ranking, we are number 11, Amity University. And also in the engineering, we are the top 30. And so India, our Amity is growing in terms of its stature. QS has ranked in Asia as top private university in India. It is the QS ranking. And similarly, the THE, Times Higher Education Group, has ranked in top 3%. So all this indicate that our university, under the leadership of Dr. Ashok Chauhan, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Dr. Seem Chauhan, and all the distinguished faculties here, has grown exponentially in the last 2 decades. And then we are ready to look at the partnership, because this has happened because of collaborations, which acted like a force multiplier. So once we work together, we always have a philosophy, 1 and 1, it doesn't become 2, it becomes 11. So this is what is the synergy of brains, which Dr. Chauhan keeps talking about, and the mission connect, mission outcome. We want a fruitful outcome for you. You are spending time here in India, in Amity. So we would like to have fruitful outcome for you when you go back. Yes, I have achieved some outcome. Similarly, all of us have this philosophy that we need to have some outcome in all this what we do. So today in this visit also, we'll be looking forward to fruitful outcome. Then we have many fellows from Royal Society of Chemistry, fellows of Royal Society of Chemistry, fellow of Royal Society of Biology, and we have Indian National Science Academy fellows. So our faculties have got fellowships in different, not only in India, but the international fellowships as well. So that speaks volumes of the quality of people we have. We have 18 technologies transferred to the industry in the last 3 years. And also we have a strong incubator, which has incubated more than 500 companies, and 70 startups are doing very well, which has come out from the portals of our innovation incubator. And we have equity. Some of these startups, we have taken equity of 10 to 15%, and that will also give a hand holding to them. So, but then again, Dr. Chauhan has said, we should have equities in 1,000 companies in the next 10 years. So that is how Amity is looking at. We have Amity Venture Capital, also gives venture, that if you have a brilliant idea. So we want our students not only to look for jobs, but they should create jobs. So we are encouraging entrepreneurship, startups. So this is the philosophy. So there is a commonality between University of Ottawa. It's a very highly ranked university in the globe, because they are very, very ancient, premier university, which is holding a very, very high position. So we are in fact looking forward to your partnership and our partnership with you. And I'm sure this visit of both Professor Jacques Fremont and Professor Sunny Aya is going to open up many, many avenues for collaboration in terms of research, academics, and all domains. So we will together with you. This is what is the slogan of Chancellor. Together with you, we will contribute to humanity and a nation building for your country, Canada, as well as for our country. So with this, I welcome you, both professors, and I would request Professor Gurinder Singh, who is our group vice chancellor, who is a strong pillar in Amity Group and looking after as a group vice chancellor all the universities. We have vice chancellors, independent vice chancellors, but gives overall guidance and also mentoring and so on. And he is also directly coordinating internationalization in Amity Group. He takes Amity to the globe and he brings globe to the Amity. So he has a big role. And in fact, we have visited your University of Ottawa maybe about 5 years ago, together with Professor Gurinder Singh, Dr. Abhay Bansal, and myself have visited and have seen wonderful work that's happening. So it's a privilege for us to host you here. And I'm sure that all the faculties over here will be looking forward to the discussions, deliberations, and a fruitful outcome. With this, may I request Professor Gurinder Singh, who has been responsible to bring this two distinguished guests to our Amity campus, Professor Gurinder Singh, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Silvamurthy. Our very close friend, the President and Vice Chancellor of University of Ottawa, Professor Fremont, Professor Sunny Yaya, the Vice President of the university. Both of you are not strangers for MIT University. We welcomed you in our very recent held conference in Bush. I can see Mr. Anuj Bhasin, who is the Trade Commissioner and has joined us on behalf of the Canadian High Commission. A very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of our founder, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, on behalf of our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, on behalf of our Chancellor, Dr. Aseem Chauhan, all the 11 Vice Chancellors, 17 Director Generals, very senior members who are present here. I can see General Gadot, Professor B.C. Das, Dr. Anjana Bhatia, who is leading psychology, our engineering institution with whom you have done your articulation, Dr. Abhay Bansal, and Dr. Manoj Pandey from our business school, our very own Vice President, Professor Bhavna Kumar, with whom you have done articulation in the area of business, and from psychology, large number of participants with whom we are working with University of Ottawa, as well as large number of other deans and heads of institutions. It's really a privilege to welcome you. Professor Fremont, though it is your first personal visit to our university, but number of interactions, especially this year, which we had with you and with Professor Yaya, it explains the kind of relationship we want to build with University of Ottawa. Our founder, Dr. Chauhan, has very special affection for you. And only yesterday when I was discussing with him that how you have been able to create an Indian center in your university. Very few universities in the world will give that kind of importance to Hindi language and to the Indian values, what University of Ottawa has been able to do. And it was an eye-opener when we visited their university a few years back. And we saw the wonderful work which the university has been doing to propagate the Indian language. The university has become one of the premier institutions to bring the Indian culture and integrate them so well in their institution. We could see the statue of Gandhiji inside the university, which clearly shows the kind of values, the kind of importance University of Ottawa gives to the Indian culture and civilization. We also know that it's a very research-intensive university. And our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, who is listening to the deliberations live, he has always stressed that no university in the world can progress if they are not focusing on the research and the strong values which can commercialize this research, which is the core synthesis on which we have been able to create the MIT family. Professor Fremont, when Dr. Silvamurthy was saying that we have been able to create and have been able to contribute 1,700 patents from the portals of our university. We would like to inform you that, like yourself, we have been able to create and have been able to commercialize more than 1/3 of our patents and have been contributing that to the industry. And that is the strength of MIT, and that is those are the values on which our founder, Dr. Chauhan, has been able to create MIT University. And that is how MIT is different from the other institutions. We are young, we are very trusty. But unlike the IIT, which are the premier institutions in the country, MIT has given India not only research, but has been able to commercialize the research. Dr. Silvamurthy was sharing with you our ranking. Of course, we are amongst the top 3% universities of the world as per the THE ranking and as per the QS ranking. But what makes us more prominent and our global university is that are all students who graduate from our universities, they are employed before they graduate from the the portals of our education group. We are amongst the top 1% universities of the world, and perhaps amongst the top 5 in India who have been able to give meaningful employment to our all students. The incubator, which you will see, we will take you on the round, and you will see the world-class incubator we have been able to create. And more than 300 companies have been incubated from here. And I understand that University of Ottawa has been playing a very important role in creating various companies from their the portals of your university. And that is another area where we'd like to discuss with you that how we can commercialize our patents, how we can incubate companies, how we can work together with University of Ottawa. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really a privilege that today when we are sitting here, we have become one of the very close partners of the University of Ottawa, where we are launching business programs, which is a BS program, BBA program, where the 2 years will be in India and in other parts of the world, including in Canada, which we are discussing with the university, and then 2 years will be with them. In engineering also, we are discussing, and we have been able to articulate 1+3 arrangement, where the students will be doing a part of the program with the MIT and then the part of the program with the University of Ottawa. And in the area of psychology, we will be doing 2 years in MIT and then 2 years with the University of Ottawa. And we are not stopping here. We are looking at study abroad programs, and the team from both the sides, they have made a action plan that how about 1,000 students we will be able to mobilize in the next 2 to 3 years, where the students can do a part of their programs and can do and take practical exposure with the University of Ottawa. We have got another program, Professor Fremont, which is known as 3-continent program, where the first part of the program is in India, second part of the program used to be in London, and the third part of the program was in America. With your team, we have concluded and we have discussed in the past that how we can rope in Canada and students can do a part of this program with your university. And this will not only bring the universities closer, this will also open various gates that how we can help your university to be a household name in India. You have got tremendous respect, but MIT has got a very good networking. 200,000 students, 11 universities, 27 institutions in India. The moment we are declaring today that we are the strategic partner with the University of Ottawa, it makes us as one of the most important partnerships which anyone in the world will be able to offer to the students. And that will make, that is going to be the power of partnership between MIT and University of Ottawa. We are also looking at that how we can create a very good alumni base. I was able to speak to a few of your alumni, President Farmer, and I think one of the pillars and one of the strengths of your university is the tremendous respect which you enjoy amongst the alumni which are graduating from your university. And I was able to see quite a few of our students already a part of your university. One of them is Mr. Suri Chawla, who has created a company called Digital on US. And he very proudly showed me a letter which you have personally written. And ladies and gentlemen, there are very few vice chancellors in the world who will be able to write personal letters to the students. And President Fremont is one such vice chancellor, one such president, who personally writes those letters to his alumni and congratulates them. And we feel so proud the way you have been leading the university. And I think that this is another area where we want that we can hold the meets together. We do understand that you are holding alumni dinner for your students today, late in the evening. But maybe in future, we can create an event where the alumni of MIT and alumni of Ottawa, we can do some events together and we can host it jointly at MIT University. With these words, we would like to hear more from you, but this is a university, this is a dream of Dr. Chauhan, who's a founder, who spent many years in Europe. but came only with one vision, with one aim, that he has to create a university. He has to create an education group which is different from the other education groups of the world. His mission was very clear that he has to contribute and he has to create a platform where the knowledge, where the education should go to the poor, to the poorest. And when Dr. Silvamurthy was giving presentation, I think one point which we wanted to highlight is, Professor Fremont, that we are the only education group which has been able to give more than 200,000 scholarships in the past few years to the students to attract best of the brains from the villages, from the far off places of the world. And later we will also show you our e-learning department, which will further, you will be able to see the wonderful work we have been able to do, not only in India, but in Africa. Professor Yaya, we are the largest partner of Government of India, Ministry of External Affairs, and more than 80,000 African students have taken a benefit of our e-learning program. That is what we try to do, we try to achieve. Our campuses across the globe, whether it's London or it's Australia or in United States of America, where we have got two campuses and then 75 acres of campus, or in Netherlands, or a full university in Dubai, or in Mauritius, or our new campuses which are coming across the globe, are a testimony of the vision and the mission of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, the vision of our chancellor, that we want that the world should be a better place to live, where the strong foundation is laid on research, where the very strong foundation is laid on the human rights. And Professor Fremont, we know that you are an authority on the constitutional law, but we also have a very, very strong law school, and we would like to explore that what we can do in the area of law. Professor Yaya, you are not only the scholar who has been at Yale, at Harvard, at Oxford, at Imperial, but where you have been able to contribute in the area of public health is a testimony of what you are bringing on the table, your international experience. We like to strengthen our ties with you, and we promise you that in Asia, we will be able to create that kind of a partnership on which University of Ottawa and MIT family will always feel so proud. Mr. Anuj Bhasin, you were the pillar. You were the one who introduced us. From the bottom of our heart, we want to thank you for gracing this occasion. I spoke to you last evening, and within very short span of time, you who took the time out of your very busy schedule, and you are here. Thank you so very much for coming and gracing the occasion. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Brinder Singh. Now, I just wanted our faculties to briefly just mention your name and your affiliation. Which department? What's your position? Chairman, director, head of the department?
Dr. Silvamurthy, if you permit, I think that Mr. Bhasin, who is the Trade Commissioner, has joined for a very short span of time. He would like to say a few words, and then he has got another meeting.
Okay.
Maybe that if we can request him to speak.
To you that you could join us, and thanks for all the support, guidance, mentoring, and also your valuable input in our presence in Canada. So thank you for joining. Can we hear your views since you are occupied otherwise, Mr. Anuj? Mr. Anuj Bhasin.
Thank you. Good morning.
Can you just unmute the mic? I think your audio, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Good morning to all the colleagues, and thank you for the very warm introduction, Dr. Singh and the team at Amity. I'd like to begin by congratulating the Amity team for inviting our wonderful colleagues from the University of Ottawa, Professor Fremont, Professor Yaya. I had the privilege of meeting them yesterday at the High Commission. So it's an honor to me to be here with you, although virtually. You've been very kind enough in terms of acknowledging the role of the Trade Commissioner Service that I work for as part of the Government of Canada for facilitating this particular partnership. However, it is, we just started the dialogue, and it is Professor Singh and his team who's taken it to the next level with the top Canadian university that we have as University of Ottawa. I mean, if I just have to put things in perspective, we've had a fairly difficult time due to the pandemic, and international collaborations are all the more critical and sort of helped us bring back our economies back to a more secure future. I mean, if I specifically talk about the bilateral relationship prior to the disruption, it was rapidly approaching $80 billion. And we briefly touched upon with Professor Fremont yesterday. We have upward of 1,000 Indian companies, or rather 1,000 Canadian companies present in India, with 500 odd having physical presence and contributing to the Making in India vision that Prime Minister Modi has. And then on the Canadian side, we have about 90 odd Indian companies, the players like Infosys, TCS, Aditya Birla, and touchwood, if Amity University decides to set up a campus there, I mean, there's all the more reason that we have optimism there. So from our part, we try to keep the dialogues going on. We've had our Minister of International Trade, Minister Ng, visiting India. There are ongoing ministerial dialogues going on trade, finance, energy, and we have joint working groups on education that I sort of participate in, on science and technology, agriculture, etc. So there is tremendous momentum that is going on. And the idea is, and the fundamental of this momentum is the education relationship that Canada and India has, wherein Canada offers high quality education, course content, a multicultural experience because of the publicly funded post-secondary education system that we typically have in Canada. There is a MOU as well on the education side, and most recently that meeting happened a few years back, wherein the Joint Secretary on the Ministry of Education on the Indian side had led a delegation, and that has thrust and led to a lot of collaboration, such as what we have between OTTAWA and Amity. So about 600 odd such collaborations are there across all disciplines, leading to student, faculty, and researcher mobility, and it is growing, and a lot of them are becoming active. Purely on the the cohort side, I mean, Canada is proud to have the largest cohort from India. Upward of 180,000 students shows Canada as a study destination, and we've seen double-digit growth across all the metrics, be it tourism, be it trade, and all this sort of already strengthens the already strong ties, because we have a strong Indian diaspora with about 1.4 million Canadians that trace their roots to India. So I firmly believe that we are on the right path. Professor Singh has touched upon a lot of important faculties and disciplines where OTTAWA and Amity University can collaborate on, and we are there to support wherever we can. And I wish a very informative discussion this morning and afternoon. Thank you again for having me there.
Thank you, Mr. Anuj Basinji. You have been spearheading this Indo-Canadian relations, not only in trade, education, and so thank you so much. And also, Amity would like to take your guidance, advice to ensure our presence and deep relationship with Canadian institutions, including University of Ottawa. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be looking forward to your help, support always. Thank you so much. Now, can we request each one of our faculties to briefly just introduce your name and your institution?
My name is Dr. V.K. Jain. I am heading two departments. One is the research department, materials and devices. Another is renewable energy. So we have developed a lot of technologies transferred to the industry, and mainly working on sensors, water purification systems, energy, all these many areas. Thank you.
He will be visiting your lab, so please show them. Would you like to introduce yourself so that people will know as well?
Hi everyone, I'm Sheenan Sethi. I'm associated with University of Ottawa as a senior recruitment advisor.
Thank you, Sheelan.
Thank you. Very good morning. Myself, Professor Abhay Bansal. I am joint head, Amity School of Engineering and Technology, heading with Professor Manoj Kumar Pandey, which has 6,000 plus students, one of the largest institution of Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, And I'm happy to mention I'm also Director for International Collaboration for Engineering and Technology. And recently, NEP 2020 and Chairman UGC has already announced that Indian university, which has NRF rank 100, and we are happy that we have rank 31, where 100 has been asked, and we have required NAC grade also, by which we can offer dual degree program, joint and global study program. And we are also looking for various collaboration, could be SERB funding, where faculty can go there and spend and can do their postdoctorate with University of Ottawa. And High Delegation Committee with Dr. Singh, Silvamurthy sir, we visited University of Ottawa. It's a wonderful location, very good university, and large number of our engineering students are already going and doing their masters from University of Ottawa. So we have a lot of contacts and relations, and we look forward to have many.
He's so passionate about international collaborations. So he would be interacting with Professor Sunny Yaya. And over to you, Raman.
Yeah,
Lakshmi.
very good morning. I'm Professor Nagalakshmi I'm heading Amity Institute of International Studies. Right now we have got around 200 plus students in UG program and 150 plus students in PG program. And two of our students in this last 2021 batch pass out. They have joined Canada, the university. They have joined for master's program. And I'm really happy to share this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Manoj Kumar Pandey.
Good morning. I am Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey. I am Joint Director of MIT School of Engineering Technology with Dr. Bansal has already just told. And we have, as he has said, we have more than 5,000 students, those who are studying in engineering for undergraduate and postgraduate. Plus, we have 150 research students, and those and we are very closely associated with the international collaborations, and many of the universities outside India we're in, and many type of articulations we are going with. And our main area of positive points are in the field of engineering, especially in the mechanical engineering, electronics engineering, that we are holding a lot of research and innovations. And we are again keenly looking for associating with your university in a very positive and fruitful outcomes in future. Thank you very much.
Sanjay Singh.
Good morning, sir. I am Dr. Sanjay Singh. I am heading Amity Institute of Aerospace Engineering. So we have 4 programs in aerospace at UG, PG and PhD level. We have more than 180 students. So our area of expertise is we are working in the field of propulsion, engines, flight dynamics. So we are looking forward to collaborate with your university. Thank you, sir.
Basant Singh Shikarwar.
Very good morning, sir. Welcome in Amity University. I am a Professor Dr. Basant Singh Sikarwar. I am heading Department of Mechanical Engineering, which is the part of Amity School of Engineering Technology. So as a part of Department of Mechanical Engineering, we have more than 500 students, research scholars, and we also have a PhD students, where we have joint collaborations in research in many aspects of fluid and thermal engineering and design aspects. Thank you very much.
He is our specialist in thermal management, CFD, and all those domains in mechanical engineering. Dr. Modi.
Good morning, sir. I am Dr. V.K. Modi, heading the Amity Institute of Food Technology. We have 400 plus students in graduate and postgraduate, and offering the degrees graduate and postgraduate and PhD in food technology as well as food science and nutrition.
Thank you. Dr. Goodwill.
Good morning. This is Dr. Goodwill Khokar. I'm Assistant Director in Amity Science Technology Innovation Foundation. Thank you.
Dr. Chakravarti.
Good morning to all of you. My name is Chakravarti, and I'm representing Amity Foundation for Science, Technology and Innovation Alliance, primarily targeting the connecting with globally, especially with the university like yours, to take Amity to a destination. Thank you.
Dr. Neeraj Sharma.
Good morning. I am Dr. Neeraj Sharma. I am colleague of Dr. Chakravarti. We together are working in the Foundation of Science, Technology, Innovation Alliances. And as he mentioned, the objective is very clear given to us, is bringing the brilliant minds to the university, connecting research nationally, internationally, also in the field of technology development, which is my forte. In my previous avatar, I was the Secretary of the Technology Development Board in Government of India. So would like to collaborate as much as possible with the University of Ottawa, sir, especially in the technology development domain. Thank you, sir.
In fact, he is spearheading the translational research here to develop products, increase TRL level, and so on. And both of them are in the foundation, Amity Foundation for Science, Technology, Innovation Alliances. So they will bring the partnership. And Dr. Vaibhav?
Morning, sir. I'm Dr. Vaibhav. I'm working with Dr. W. Silvamurthy, sir, in Amity Science, Technology and Innovation Foundation. I'm working as a scientific staff officer. Working with Dr. W. Silvamurthy, sir, we take care of all the research and innovation activities. And with this guidance, we are trying to reach to other universities and make moving ahead forward in the area of research and making Amity grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vaibhav. Dr. Deepshika Pandey.
Good morning to all. I'm Dr. Deepshika Pandey Katare. I'm Professor and Assistant Director of Amity Institute of Biotechnology, and I'm also heading the Center for Medical Biotechnology. Amity Institute of Biotechnology has around 2,000 students. We offer UG and PG programs in biotechnology, bioinformatics, and biochemical engineering. And we also have around 175 PhD students. We are offering international programs also and 3 continental. So looking forward for fruitful collaboration with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. This is Prateek Dekar, International Relations, working under the leadership of Group Vice Chancellor Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir. I look after foreign university collaborations and embassy relations, and my research area is workplace mental health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Kanishk Jain sir. I'm an assistant director in the International Affairs Division. I work with Dr. Singh in expanding Amity's global footprints. Pleasure to see you all. Thank you.
Dr. Neeraj.
A very good morning, sir. I'm Professor Dr. Neeraj. I'm additional director, Amity Institute of Defense Technology. We are the newest member of this family. We started this program in association with DRDO Lab, and we are working very closely to DRDO. Currently, we are offering a postgraduate and PhD program in defense technology. We, as Amity, we are looking forward for any kind of collaboration in the area of defense.
Just mention the 6 verticals.
We are offering 6 verticals, 6 specializations to the students. These are combat vehicle, naval technology, aerospace technology, and it is high energy material. And we are also giving the laser technology. And this is 6 specialization we are giving.
And also sensors and communications and directed energy weapons.
I'm sorry, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good morning, professors. I'm Prachi Kapoor. I am working with the International Affairs Division. We have recently been in common meetings. We are working under the leadership of Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir. And we look forward to more international collaborations and fruitful outcomes with University of Ottawa. Thank you.
Good morning, and once again, a warm welcome to all our colleagues and seniors from the University of Ottawa. I represent the International Affairs Division, and I work closely with Group Vice Chancellor for the past 16 years, looking after international collaboration, mobilities, projects, and much more. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Manoj. Dr. Nutan Kaushik.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. I'm Nutan Kaushik, heading the Director General of Amity Food and Agriculture Foundation. So I have long collaboration with the University of Saskatoon in developing the canola variety for the Indian system, because but I look since 1993 we have that collaboration. I look forward to the similar collaboration with your university. I see that there are few faculty which are working in the agriculture area, like food transformation system, fish farming, and also this insect control and management. So I look forward to that research collaboration with your university. In agriculture, we have 800 students which are doing the UG, PG, and research and PhD. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nutan. She is bringing a number of bilateral and multilateral projects. Dr. Nirupama Prakash.
Good morning, sir. I'm Nirupama Prakash, Director of Amity Institute of Social Sciences. We have approximately 1,000 students with undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD degrees offered in social work, sociology, political science. Then we have, masters in development studies, history, and also undergraduation in philosophy and geography. I have very fond memories of University of Ottawa. I was invited for a conference, and I look forward to research and academic collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Anjana Bhatia.
Good morning to all of you, and welcome to our very beautiful Amity University. I am heading the Psychology Institute of Amity. It is Amity Institute of Psychology and Allied Sciences. We have programs at UG level as well as at PG level, and we have diplomas also. We also have full-time and part-time research. As far as PG is concerned, we have 4 verticals in PG. One is applied psychology, then is organizational psychology, counseling psychology, and clinical psychology. Clinical psychology is our flagship program. So we have a huge number of students opting for clinical psychology. And then, they take up that license and they start their own practice also. And many of them are, also going to Canada, to various universities for their specialization for practicing. Psychology is a happening subject. For the past 3-4 years, we have been watching that a large number of students are opting for psychology. Our student strength at present is more than 3,000. So we are really looking forward to long-term association with your esteemed university. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Anjana.
Good morning, a very warm welcome. I'm Dr. Naina Chaudhary. I'm Additional Director in the Office of Group Vice Chancellor, Sir Professor Singh. My core area is academics and accreditations. I lead all the academic discussions during the international articulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Bhavna.
Good morning once again. I'm Bhavna. I work very closely with Dr. Singh in International Affairs, and I'm a professor in the business school as well. In the business school, we have doctorate, undergraduate, postgraduate. We handle the study abroad 3 concurrent programs. We have more than 1,000 PhD scholars and exciting areas including health and, of course, legal issues and governance. Also corporate social responsibility and social entrepreneurship, which we have been working with Montreal, and we hope to have many such collaborations and projects with Ottawa as well.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavna.
Professor Bhavna, they have very strong AI department, and maybe that you can talk about the courses which we are offering in the business school, which are the hybrid program in AI and data analytics also.
So 4 years back, we realized that interdisciplinary education is the key to the future, and we should not only have a BTech in artificial intelligence. So under the vision of Dr. Singh, we launched, in the business school, we have launched new age programs, which specifically are a combination of business with artificial intelligence and machine learning and data analytics. And many students aspire for postgraduates and also do a lot of exciting development in terms of their research in this area.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavna. Can you just move the mic?
Professor, Dr. Sulamurthy, I just wanted to add, Professor Fremont and Professor Yaya, we are the best in the area of international business and offering the courses, which are the hybrid courses, where we have included and integrated artificial intelligence. We became the first business school of the country, which launched a program in international business and AI. And I know that your university is very strong in it, but I think that our students who have been doing these courses, which is a hybrid program of AI and business, they have been very well received by the industry. Similarly, we became the first business school in the country which launched a program which are concentrating on data analytics, business intelligence, artificial intelligence, and integrating it with the international business. So the business school has been doing the program where the concentration is on technology, but very well integrated with the best of the business practice, which we are implementing across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Gurinder Singh. I think we have 2 more distinguished colleagues.
Yeah, good morning, professors. This is Preeti Wahal. I'm a part of International Affairs Division working under the leadership of Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh. So, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Himani Singh, part of International Affairs Division. Thank you so much.
I would also request Dr. B.C. Das introduce himself and also talk about the health, because he is interested a little bit about health institutes.
Good morning and thank you, Dr. Selvamurthy. And first of all, I welcome our esteemed guest, 2 guests from the University of Ottawa, Professor Jacques Fremont and Professor Yaya. So we look forward for a collaboration from the science, and as you have already known, as said by Professor Salvamurthy and others, that it's a research and innovation driven university. And our founder, Honorable Ashok Chauhan, is the great visionary, and all inspiration comes from his. He is not only founder, but he is the inspiration of, because of his inspiration, this university has become the research and innovation driven university, which Professor Salvamurthy handled it, and other organizations also, including the International Alliance Department. But I deal with not only the Research Council, University Research Council, which looks after all the research aspects from all disciplines, but also the Dean of Health and Allied Sciences. And there is we have Allied Sciences at this moment, but there are two more, at least two, the medical colleges and hospitals are in the process of development. And we look forward very soon, these hospitals and things will be under in the process. So there is a huge source of huge opportunity for collaborations between Amity University and the Ottawa University. And as per the new university rules and regulations, that we can exchange not only students but faculty and exchange the credits. So we can have the course in the 2-degree course, that one from the international university and from the India, and we can exchange the credits. Then we can map or we can exchange the credits. So there is a huge opportunity which has opened. But as far as my own discipline is concerned, beside the health and allied sciences, which includes public health and physiology and occupational, and then the other public health and the pharmacy, School of Pharmacy, we have all the PhD and huge number of students, and there is a PhD program and UG and PG program. And as far as my department institute is concerned, is the Amity Institute of Molecular Medicine and Stem Cell Research. This is a very advanced department, having the stem cell cancer research is the major theme, where we use the advanced technology, including the genome editing, stem cell therapy, and also the tissue engineering. So these are very advanced field, and that is, we have huge number of PhD students and also the faculties, and there comes under our Honorable Founder President's program 4B, the bright, brilliant brains, bringing brilliant brains to India. So we have those brains. So there are maximum of this country. I have the biggest number of them. They are called Ramalinga Sima Fellow or Ramanujan Fellows. And so we have the huge number of projects, huge number of students who have the national and international fellowships. And it's one of the advanced center of research.
Thank you, Dr. Das. I think they will visit your institute also.
Welcome to the
Dr. Lieutenant General Gadiuk.
Thank you very much, Dr. Salvamurthy, sir. Respected professors, President, Vice President of University of Ottawa. I think it's a very unique privilege and honor for us to welcome you here today. I'm the Director General of Amity Institute of Defense Strategic Studies. I also happen to be the Vice President of Amity Science Innovation, that is Technical Foundation, and also the Vice Chairman of Amity Institute of Defense Technology. I'm also looking as the Commandant of the Amity Institute of Education Training. This is specifically for the Defense Forces. It's a matter of great pride that we have an education icon under the stewardship of Dr. Chauhan. he has encouraged us to establish this very unique Amity Institute of Defense Research and Strategic Studies. And we happen to collaborate, in fact, with the leading think tanks of the country in Delhi. We've signed the Memorandum of Understanding and Agreement with them. We are conducting global national seminars. In fact, the Vice Chancellor, Vice President just made a mention. We just recently conducted, in fact, a global seminar on Ukraine and Russian conflict, the prospects and challenges very successfully. And tomorrow we are conducting on the Integrated Theatre Command. We are very closely, in fact, interacting with the armed forces of the country, the Army, Navy, and the Air Force, and the last, in fact, the erstwhile CDS, Chief of the Defense Staff. We were interacting very closely with them. And I must tell you that we have one of the largest number of military scholars soldiers. Right now, we are approximately about 40 of them. And they are working under the PhD program, which is for defense and strategic studies. It's multidisciplinary. It also encompasses national security, nuclear issues, and international studies and social studies. We also have the MA in Defense and Strategic Studies and the BA, Honors in Defense and Strategic Studies. We have outreach programs. Now we are reaching out. Recently, we had this collaboration with Birmingham University in the United Kingdom, and we organize these multidisciplinary programs. We would look forward to, in fact, interacting with you and to go in for our outreach programs as far as defense and national security issues. Thank you very much.
I would also like to tell you, sir, that we have Amity Institute of Space Science and Technology. We have a very big focus vertical, both in terms of building the satellite. We are going to launch our Amity satellite into space. The first biological payload from India is going from Amity University. A callus of a plant as well as a bacteria will go into space through the PSLV this year we have planned. So we will be seeing how does these biological material behave in space. Then we also have Amity Institute of Nuclear Science and Technology. So we are looking at nuclear security. So the US Department of Defense has given a big program, DITRA, Defense Threat Reduction Agency has given a project to us through University of A&M University, Texas. We are now spreading the capability of nuclear security because India has nuclear assets. So how do we secure them? How do you bring awareness horizontally to a larger population? So we are running a program of DITRA over here. So this is a very vibrant area. So now with this, I would request the President and Vice President of University of Ottawa to make their opening remarks. What are your dreams? What are your expectations, aspirations from this visit? And I was very happy to hear from you that we want to bring results under this MOU. It was like a honey in my ears, So with this, I request President, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ottawa, Dr. Jacques Fremont, and he has been the chair of Quebec Human Rights and is basically a legal expert. Law is his domain. He has been the Dean of the School of Law, and he has been at the University of Montreal. He has been Provost, Vice Rector in Academic Affairs, and he has also been visiting professor in many institutions in Quebec, Canadian, European, and Asian universities. And we would like to have you also here as a visiting professor more often. He has written several books, authored many articles, book chapters, and he has been a professor emeritus at the University of Montreal. So it's a great honor for us to host him over here. So over to you, President and Vice Chancellor. Thank you so much.
Technology.
Okay, my dear friends, what a pleasure to be in India this morning. What a pleasure to be at Amity University. We've heard a lot about your university before coming here through Dr. Singh and his team. And I have much admiration for Dr. Singh. It's probably 3 in the morning in Toronto, and he is still very awake. So thank you very much for being there. And thank you for all of you for taking the time to come and meet with me and with Dr. Yaya. International relations are extremely important, needless to say, to my university. So important that for the last 2 years, we have a Vice President International, Professor Yaya, and his job is really to make sure that the international dimension of our university is as important as possible, and it has to penetrate everything we do in terms of training, in terms of research, in terms of student experience, so on and so forth. So, and I'm very happy that Dr. Yaya is with us today. And of course, like you, we have suffered the pandemic more than 2 years. And this is one of the very first journey we are undertaking is in this country. And it is not by chance. It's because India is the country of the future, which is a very important country. Of course, for Canada, and thanks to Dr. Bashin, who participates to this meeting, for Canada, we have a couple of challenges, and one of those challenges is clearly we need people. We need more people. So immigration is a priority for everyone. Canada has announced, for your information, that this year we will welcome more than 400,000 immigrants, which is a considerable amount of immigrants. And so I just hope that we'll have a few who will choose to come to the University of Ottawa too. Of course, there is in the internationalization of our university, student mobility is very important. It has been referred to earlier this morning, and we look forward to working with Amity to really increase student mobility between our countries. I was saying to the president that student mobility is not a one-way street. It has to be a two-way street. And it would be important for my students at the University of Ottawa to have a chance of coming here in India at Amity and to spend some time, because our students are lazy. They like the comfort of their university, of their campus, and when they leave, they say, okay, let's go and study in the US, let's go and study in the UK, let's go and study in France, and I'm not sure this is the right answer. The world is much richer than the traditional northern countries. And of course, India is a leader. Indian civilization has been rich for centuries, and this richness has to be discovered by our students. So we will make sure that there are scholarships to encourage mobility of our students and mobility of some of our students who do not necessarily have the means to travel. So this is important, especially for first generation students. So thank you again. And I think Amity University will be an important player and partner in this country. The potential for cooperation is huge. Of course, 200,000 students is a large family. I used to say we have 45,000, and I used to say it is quite large family, but of course it's modest in Indian terms. Please do not send your 200,000 students at the same time. It will be a bit tough to swallow, but it's all right. Do send a couple, and I will be thrilled to have you. I think when we went around the table, and we can see the wealth of domains in which this university is active in terms of teaching, in terms of researching, and this is true of all our universities, and that's why it is so important for us to team together. And I would say, especially in these times, just a few comments. Of course, there's a war raging not too far from here. There are tensions all over the world now. And I think the role of universities is not to follow blindly our political leaders. Universities are there for the long game. We will still be there in 50 years, in 100 years' time, while the political leaders hopefully will be buried by then. And so we're in for the long game. They're in for the short gain. And I think we have, as universities, more than ever, we have to push our collaboration and science and investing in youth, as you do every day, investing in science, we can't lose, actually. And we owe that to the growing generations in the system. You have expressed, and thanks for that, your wishes that we have a deeper collaboration. Maybe you should know who we are first, or a little of who we are. I think Dr. Singh and others have had that presentation. We have had extensive presentation about Amity. I'd just like to take a few minutes to show you what the University of Ottawa, what we do, what we are, and where are we in the Canadian sort of university system. I heard there are more than 1,000 Indian universities. In Canada, of course, we're more modest. I mean, the population of the country is equal to the population of Delhi. So we're talking different sizes, but there are 100 universities in Canada, okay? And we are a member, you will see, of the what we call the U15. That is the 15 research-intensive universities in Canada, equal to the Russell Group in England, or the AALS in the US. So this group of elite universities, and we are, you will see, we're close to the top. We're not in the absolute top because we're smaller. I have 1,300 faculty members. UBC, University of Toronto, McGill, Montreal, Alberta, the large universities, they have over 2,000 faculty members, and it shows in the rankings very clearly. But we're right in the next sort of coat, and we're number 1 or 2 depending on the field, depending on the years. There's heavy competition between U15 university, and it's a very healthy competition. So first, a few things. We are located in Ottawa, like you. It's Canada's capital. I mean, it's like India's capital, but it's a modest city. But in terms of quality of life, we can leave the presentation with you, so it can be distributed. So no need to take notes. But it's in terms of quality of life, Ottawa is a terrific city, actually. And many people prefer Ottawa to Toronto or Vancouver or to Montreal. Why is that? For students, there's no nightlife in Ottawa, or very little. So the best students have to do is to study. That's how things should be. No, but it's a fun city. It's a sports city. But effectively, the temptations for our young students are less than in other cities in Canada. One of the things you will see that technology-intensive city in Canada, and that's very important for who we are. The second largest technological park in Canada is in Ottawa. So IT is happening in the Greater Toronto area and very concentrated in the Ottawa area. It's called Canada, just outside. And we have actually a satellite campus. Outside, we have labs over there, and we have hundreds of students working in hundreds of companies. So this is very, very intensive. just outside of Canada. Just to show you, this is Ottawa. Our main campus is there. We are 600 meters from Prime Minister Trudeau's office, from the federal parliament, from the center of the action in Canada. So you see, and our main campus is nice, but it's tight. If I want to have a new building on my campus, I have to tear down a couple of buildings. So it is difficult for us. But the life sciences medical campus is outside of the main campus, so at least the pressure is not as bad on our main campus. So this building is my office, not the whole building, but my office is in this building, and we are ranked in the top top 150 universities worldwide. We have 20 to 24% of international students, which means around 8 to 10,000 international students. This year coming for more from 143 countries, if I remember. So it's very, very diversified student body. We have, it says 200, we have over 250,000 alumni, more than 550 programs, 10 faculties, and we are in the U15 group of research-intensive universities. One thing it doesn't say is that we are Canada's almost only bilingual university, which means that our programs are, there's Francophone stream, there's an Anglophone stream, and you can register to the Francophone or the Anglophone stream, or you can go between the streams and you can follow courses in both languages. We never translate what is going on campus. People are presumed that they understand French, that they understand English. But if you are in the Anglophone stream, of course, all your courses are in English. Your faculty members speak English, and it's as easy as that. You see the number of programs we have. And the number of students, 7,000 graduate students, of course, many PhDs and postdoc students. It's a very important since we are research intensive. You will have seen that we were founded before you in 1848. So you are a very young institution. We're getting old. We like to believe we're not that old, but you see we're in our rankings. The faculties, they regroup all your fields, most of your fields, maybe not space, and there are a few architecture we don't have, but for the rest we have all disciplines are regrouped in these 10 faculties. Bilingualism, I mentioned that, it's a very important dimension of the University of Ottawa. And our Francophone character is important because in Canada, as you know, it's a federal state. Quebec is a Francophone province, but Francophones are dispersed throughout Canada, and we are the leading light, university light for these Francophone minorities in the country. Research is extremely important at the University of Ottawa, and I'm very proud of this. When we begin the year, we have $0 for research. And when we end the year, that figure is from the year before last year. Last year, we were at $430 million. So it means that our researchers, each and every dollar, it's a contract, it's a grant, it's a peer-reviewed grant. And so it means that we have really a very research-intensive machine at the University of Ottawa, and faculty members are heavily involved in research. So 430 and counting for this year, it will probably raise to 450, and we are one of the few institutions in Canada where the needle is moving. So generally it's flat now in Canada, but it's moving. We have Student Research Award. We have contracts throughout the world, and you can see the ranking, the various rankings. But the peer-reviewed money we get is extremely important. Recently, for instance, there was a competition for the COVID variant study. The government of Canada wanted to know where the head of the network should be installed in Canada. And University of Toronto, of course, because they're the arrogant colleagues, they say, hey, it's U of T. McMaster, they're very strong in health sciences. They say, hey, it should be McMaster. We said, hold on. And peer reviewed, we got the head of the research, the COVID variants research network. Our colleagues were not too happy, but that's fine. And biomanufacturing, of course, your country is heavily involved in biomanufacturing. Canada had given up its biomanufacturing industry, and we were stuck in the middle of the COVID crisis with no facilities. There is, for instance, a network being mounted around the University of Ottawa, which involves McGill University, McMaster University, and some universities in the West. So we're really pulling right now. The research is really very extensive in those fields. We are also the leaders in Canada in photonics and in quantum science and quantum research, and that really draws us to. Thank you. It brings us to, as you know, with quantum and photonics, sensors are very important. It's not surprising that automated vehicle, the research is led by University of Ottawa researchers with the local industries in Canada. So this is very important. Also, individualized medicine. If you swallow a pill and the pill has to go somewhere in your body, it's with sensors and it's with photonics. So lots of fundamental science and lots of applied science also. And one of our most significant investment now is concerning cybersecurity. Of course, the whole world deals with cybersecurity, but there are different levels in cybersecurity. If you go banking, for instance, it's considered level 2. The cybersecurity we're dealing with is at level 7. That is for national defense, for the security forces, for foreign affairs, for spying and counter-spying agencies. They need levels of security which are way, way, way above. And they will be based on photonics, actually, and quantum science. And that's why we just signed a $21 million US agreement with IBM, and they will establish their third cyber range lab. And already people at the National Defense are reserving our lab at night and over weekends because they want to use these facilities. We're having a PhD program being established around cybersecurity at the highest level. And of course, all the companies in the Ottawa region are very excited about that because we are emerging as the leading cybersecurity. Well, seriously, not that cybersecurity at banks are not serious, but at a very different level. And the cyber range will be rooms where people will be inside the room, will try to defend the attacks, which will be simulated from outside, and they will learn from these attacks at the highest level. So this is happening as we speak. It will be operational in October. So you see, my university is not the biggest in the country, but we made choices in a few fields. And if you want to see what are the strategic areas of research, they're regrouped in 4 areas. Sustainable environment. Of course, it's very important. It's very important for India. It's very important for Canada. Certainly shaping the digital world. I talked a lot about the digital technologies. Extremely important. It's very important for this country, and actually it is certainly one of the areas where our cooperation could really be beneficial. You see health and wellness, life sciences. It's the driving engine of the research at my university. That's where most of the money comes from and is invested. And of course, advancing just societies. We really believe in the social sciences and humanities at the University of Ottawa for one simple reason. It's easy to find an AI algorithm It's easy to find a new cell, or we've seen the vaccine, so on and so forth. No, it's not that easy. But how do you control the social media? How do you lower the tensions in our society? That is tough. And there's not one single answer. And one of the characteristics of the University of Ottawa is that we never, because we're smaller, we never tackle issues strictly without, I would say, the social science component. So AI, photonics, health research, so on and so forth, we always integrate all the dimensions. So easy, I have a legal person, philosopher, ethicians, full-time working in faculty of engineering. So it just tells you, and the research teams, for instance, health, you mentioned public health issue, epidemiology. We have strong teams, of course, Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Health Sciences, but I have 6 scholars, top scholars in Canada for the legal dimension of health. I have 6 faculty members at the business school for the management of the health systems. And without counting, I mean, many colleagues at the Faculty of Social Sciences who are heavily involved in health matters. For instance, we have a very strong research network on the health of Indigenous people and on the health of Black people in Canada. So this is, how can I say, health matters, IT matters are done in an interdisciplinary fashion. And this is really, how can I say, it's distinctive of the University of Ottawa. All universities say we do interdisciplinarity. I can tell you it's real for us. So 25 research centers and institutes and counting. So you can look at that. And major international partnerships. This was prepared for research. So German, the French, Fulbright, so on and so forth, Chinese Academy of Science. We have joint labs with these international research bodies. And I think that's it. So potential areas of partnership, everything is on the table. And if we know how to count up to 4, 1 plus 3, 2 plus 2, so on and so forth, 1 plus 2, that is all open, including student and staff mobility and knowledge transfer of research. Of course, one of the areas where we cherish is the co-tutel. I don't know if you've heard about that. It comes from the continent, but it's 2 co-supervisor for a thesis, and the student gets 2 degrees, 2 PhD degrees at the end of their studies. We also have University of Ottawa Press. And so I meant to introduce the university so that you know better who we are and where we stand within the Canadian system. Maybe a few more comments, if I may. We have an agenda in front of us, and it is to get to know each other well, and to get to, and I was sharing with the president that I'm as he is, and as Dr. Singh is, we're all very pragmatic. It's easy to sign MOUs. We have hundreds and hundreds. Honestly, as soon as they're signed, they're filed, and that's it. That's not what we want with Amity. We want action. We want to be able every year to look behind and to say, okay, we've made a difference. We're somewhere else and we've grown. And it's not without challenges, you have to understand, because what we face is that we have to merge or to conciliate 2 different systems. So, for instance, one of our colleagues in psychology, of course, there's much demand, and in Canada too. But in Canada, we have agreements for our psychology programs, and they have requirements. It's the same for our business programs, and you might have agreements also for your business program and your psychology programs. So we have to navigate through these requirements. It's not always easy, because sometimes the requirements are very, I would say, nationally oriented. They're done by Canadians, for Canadians, and how can I say, international experience is not exactly in the fashion of the day. So that is a first challenge we will have to be frank about, and that might be difficult, at least at first, to open the doors widely and to really be able to be in an exchange mode. The second challenge for me, university president in Canada is, I see my colleagues in China, when the president says, you're doing this, people align and they're doing this. When I say to a colleague, you will be doing this, the colleague say, hey, who are you to give me an order? And if I say, we're going there, they will say, you can go. So what I'm saying is that there might be a certain resistance. We will have to convince the deans, we will have to convince the department chairs that it is in their interest and that their program, the program they manage, will grow and will be enriched by the collaboration with you people, with your students, with your departments. The best way to do that is clearly to get to know each other, is to provoke occasions where people can meet, can sit and can dream together and can say, hey, it would be nice, it would be, and to say, okay, let's try, let's have a couple of students, let's have a class together. Of course, 9 hours and a half difference is a challenge to get the class together, but it's not impossible. It's probably possible. So what I'm saying is that the agenda ahead will clearly be to get to know each other, and not only through the presidents and through the vice president, but through department heads, deans, department heads, to persons responsible for the various programs, and to see whether it is realistic. Because what I dearly want is to make a difference. What I dearly want is this mobility of students and researchers. And just PhD studies are important for your university. They're very important for my university, and postdocs, of course, are very important. And of course, there are no professional agreements for PhDs. These issues are not as pregnant as for undergraduate studies. So it could also be a good way, especially where researchers have areas of common interest, for Coach Tel, or to send for part of their PhD studies or for postdoc studies to come to send students to Canada, and for us to send students here working with your research teams. In my experience, the relationship between faculty members, the relationship between doctoral students are the best foundation upon which we can build a brilliant future together. So we have quite a program, and I would say let us be ambitious. It is important to be ambitious, but not overly, how can I say, to be realistic also if we want to move. And every little step in the right direction will be important. And what is important is after, again, a year or two, we look behind and we say, hey, yes, we made a difference. And India and Amity is too important for Canada not to be part of the equation. So thank you in advance for all the work you will be doing. You are most welcome in Ottawa. Let us know when you come. I know many of you have relatives, you have families, you have friends in Canada. There's also an extensive Indian community in Ottawa with Indian restaurants, which are all right, but not as good as here. But what is important, I think, is let us know if you intend to come. And we will certainly, Sunny's office will, Dr. Yaya's office will make sure that you can meet. with the relevant persons on our campus so that you have a better sense of who we are and what we could do together. So thank you again for listening to me, and I'm looking forward for the next few years.
Let's give a big clap once again to our President, Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Jacques Ramon. As you rightly mentioned, there are ample opportunities for us to launch the collaborative initiatives. The areas which you mentioned about cybersecurity, photonics, sustainability, health and wellness, social sciences, AI application, all these are very important for us. So let us start somewhere. We should begin so that we overcome the inertia, we overcome the drag, then we take off. So I'm sure your visit will give that the dimension. As you rightly said, the PhD, joint PhD could be yet another starting point, because we always encourage our students, the supervisors, to have an external co-supervisor from abroad, so that it gives a cross-cultural value addition to our thesis work. So this could be one area. Of course, challenges, for every problem there's more than one solution. So we will look jointly at those solutions. I'm sure we'll be able to overcome. And we would also encourage the faculty to faculty interaction, because that is what will bring the end results. Otherwise, it's never top down in an academic setup like universities. So I would request you to also, in your faculties, just encourage them whenever they are in India, Asia, please do visit so that they can spend a couple of days. We have beautiful guest house, so they can spend time with each faculty depending on their discipline. So this kind of people-to-people interaction, if we can bring between our two institutions, I think that will yield the fruitful results. In the meantime, we will also look at concretely, maybe in the discussion later in the afternoon, when we are sitting together one-to-one, we will look at, with Professor Gurinder Singh taking the lead in terms of discussing where do we begin in terms of the areas of collaboration in academics, exchange of students, exchange of the students, joint programs to be initiated. So we'll discuss that. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Now we want to also hear Vice President, Dr. Sunny Yaya, and I have looked at his profile, and he has been a career professor and an accomplished researcher, and particularly his area is on the international development and global studies, and in the University of Ottawa. And he has also been done postdoctoral fellowship in Yale, which is, the topmost institution. And he has also looked after the Students Affairs Management Academic Program Coordination. And he is an expert in George Institute of Global Health, where we also have collaboration at the Imperial College of London. And he has been visiting professor at Harvard and in the public health, Johns Hopkins. So he is a very, very eminent the professor and the vice president of the very distinguished university, University of Ottawa. He looks after particularly the international relations. Over to you, if we want to hear from you, your thoughts, vision, and also your the desire to build this collaboration.
Thank you very much. I realize that no time is flying, so I will try to make it short and sweet. Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be back in Delhi. This is my third visit to India. And I'm very grateful to be able to address you all. So let me start by saying that the University of Ottawa and Amity have very solid ground on which to build future collaborations. India and Canada are already partners in research on subjects as diverse as open source drug discovery, climate change, infectious diseases, sustainable manufacturing, to name but a few. We already do a lot together. Following today's conversation with some of you here, I'm convinced that we should be doing much more together. There are two essential principles to our university engagement with overseas partners. The first is an uncompromising commitment to excellence. The second is that we are led in this overseas engagement by our research community. Our intention is for the University of Ottawa to establish in India some of its most sustainable partnerships. And crucially, Indian leaders have shown the political commitment to supporting the country's scientific community. I was pleased to hear this commitment expressed in declaration by Indian government, which pledged to, and I quote, make it easier to do science and research in India and improve science administration and also improve the quality of science education. And so here at Amity, we find the same commitment to excellence that drives the University of Ottawa research community. We find the same interest in the application of science and technology to solving some of the world's most pressing problems. It is obvious to me that we also share the certainty that no single institution can tackle these problems alone. Collaboration between research performing institutions is no longer optional. No matter how good it is, no matter how well established, an individual research performing organization cannot attain excellence on its own. So, the relationship with India is of such strategic value to the university that it goes beyond individuals. India is the world's largest democracy. It has the fastest growing economy among the BRICS countries. It is the major regional power in South Asia and a rising power on the world stage. So we cannot hope to understand from a perspective the contemporary world without understanding India. We cannot hope to address the major global challenges without an Indian perspective, nor can we expect to tackle them successfully without Indian involvement. So, India matters. And there has never been a better time to engage with its culture, its knowledge, science, technology, its worldview, and above all, the talents of its people. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yaya. Now, some comments, some suggestions, how you feel, faculties, that how you can launch the collaboration with University of Ottawa. Maybe we'll have about 5-10 minutes for discussion. So anyone would like to take Bhavna, anything you want to mention? Ranjana Bhatia ji, then Nirupama Prakash, and Nutan.
I was just thinking that, I mean, it's a very, very good suggestion that you gave, that we should have faculty to faculty interaction. So if we could arrange some online meetings of the university, your esteemed university and our university, and, at a time which is convenient because there's a time difference. So we can, Bhavna and Naina can help us, and others are also there to coordinate. So your faculty, I mean, I'm speaking about psychology right now, faculty from your esteemed university and our university can interact on a common platform. So we can, try to identify the need and justify the need and what is the objective, and then what is that we plan to do in terms of research or in terms of having some courses which are of mutual interest. So that is what I was thinking.
It's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Maybe, would you like to respond? No, okay, thank you. Can I have Dr. Nirupama Prakash? The social science he was
Yes, sir, thank
emphasizing.
you.
Everywhere, even in science and technology, they bring the social science dimension.
Yes, sir, I was reading your article this morning where in social science and social responsibility is required now. Sir, great idea. I'll take it forward from what Professor Bhatia said. And in addition, the joint PhD, like for example, we've already had external co-guides from the other universities from Australia and all in the social sciences, where we have a collaborative project on, science and society. So similar that if we could have, because we have PhD programs in social sciences in various disciplines. So that's one. And the other, of course, faculty to faculty interaction. And it's happening like one of our very recent, our social work student, master's in social work student, she's got a full PhD scholarship and is at University of Ottawa right now. So how we could take that forward, wherein we could have a joint collaborative. And the third on my mind is how we could build up a joint research project, So that is something I would be interested in.
Oh, good. I think you please follow it up. There is ample opportunity for us to work, Nirupama. And
Sir, as Dr. Nirupama Madam told about PhD, we have an option of co-guide. Another thing which UGC has allowed us, now we can have joint degree also. So that as Professor Ferment has told, that it is faculty to faculty which can successfully lead our collaboration. So if we come out with joint PhD program, then a professor from MIT and professor from OTTAWA, if they start working, I'm sure a lot of collaboration can start and we can lead many more exchanges with that. And another thing, as UGC has allowed us to come up with joint degree also, dual degree also. So we are interested if we can articulate those programs, because in India, let's say if they do bachelor, it's a 4-year program. So they can do first 2 years in India, and last 2 years, if they do it in Ottawa, it is half of the cost, plus they get post-study work rights also. So these are some very important programs which can be very cost-effective. Otherwise, students are only going for master program because of 2-year duration, and bachelor for 4, they are not going. So we have very strong global study program through which if we can come out with program in computer science, mechanical, electrical, electronics, I'm sure it can be a very good collaboration. And with those exchanges, we can get good results as soon as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, so these need not be only wish lists. You start the actions. They are very keen. Both of us are very keen.
So just to add what Dr. Abhay has just told, apart from that, student exchange and faculty exchange is very important, where some of the faculty member of your institutions can come over here, maybe for 1 semester or 2 semesters, and the faculty from MIT can go to your institutions for. And second one is about the research collaboration. As you said, that your institutions has got somewhere some $1 million on the research fund. That if our student can, research student can be involved for these, joint research funded projects. So, and then joint PhD guiding and the supervisor from both institutions.
Sir, I have a suggestion here.
Yes,
Since health and wellness is there one of the verticals which they focus on. India is very rich in aromatic and medicinal plants. And we, like in agriculture, we do teach in horticulture the aromatic and medicinal plants. And if some of your faculty is interested in doing the joint collaborative research in plant-based medicines, we would be very happy to collaborate with that idea. Particularly, we can start with the joint PhDs in this area, and then later on we can develop some more activities in this. So that is my submission. If we can have one-to-one interaction with those faculties who are interested in taking this research forward. So
the herbal medicine and phytochemistry.
Many people are in MIT are working on herbal medicines, and in agriculture, in phytochemistry, in pharmacy, and yoga could be another thing, sir, which you can take up in the wellness program.
Very good.
Nagalakshmi here.
Yes, Nagalakshmi.
So one small query I have, I just saw in your presentation, it said 16 months master's program. So I would like to know the prerequisite for the students to enroll on this, and then what's the difference between the 16 months and what is the regular master's programs? If I could elaborate, because our students would be more interested in this.
Would you like to?
So the main difference is that usually our master's degree program lasts 2 years. And students have the opportunity to do either a thesis or a major research paper during those 2 years. But with those short master's degree program, it's very, very, I would say, professional oriented. So students will take their courses during the first 12 months, and for the 4 remaining months, they will do internships. So right now we are even creating a master's program that will only last 12 months, 1 year. And if you look at what others are doing right now, you go to UK, you have this type of programs actually. People want to come get reskilled, and be able to really go to the labor market. And we need to be able to really come up with those programs that can really meet the needs and the expectation of different stakeholders. And right now, obviously, these programs that we are implementing are very, very popular. We even have people who are already in the labor market who want to come back to Ottawa to get a degree, and honestly, they don't have the time to spend 2 years in our institutions. So that is the major difference between these different master programs that we have.
The prerequisite, sir, any prerequisite for 16 months? Is it 3 years or 4 years bachelor's?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. Right now, we do have some students who have a 3-year bachelor degree who can go into those 16 months master program. So it depends on the field, because you have those master program in different faculties, in education, in social sciences, even in health sciences. So it depends on the field. And so sometimes a 3-year bachelor degree will be a requirement. Sometimes it will be a 4-year bachelor degree.
Yeah, even, sir, I've got a point. As Silvamurthy sir talked about campus in campus, we have 200,000+ students, and we want to give them experiential learning where we send faculty along with a small group of students. So if we work out that option, so there could be a regular movement of students from MET along with faculty to University of Ottawa. And you rightly mentioned when they are in campus for a 4 weeks, 5 weeks duration in campus to campus arrangements, it can be a very good interaction with faculty, recruiting students for master program with scholarships, and faculty, when they're going along with the student cohort, they can also interact with their dean and director and try to explore various possibilities, whether it is research internship, joint project, global classroom projects. I'm sure that can move further, and campus is something which will be a very good
great
option.
idea.
Yes.
Great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. I mean, I think one important concept that you just mentioned is really experiential learning. That's really key. We need to be able to really come up with training programs that will also not only meet the demands, the needs of the students, but also that will help obviously respond to the labor market issues. The president earlier was talking about the labor shortage in Canada. We really need people, and we don't want to take 2 or 3 years to train them. It has to be done in a good way, but fast.
Yeah, and we have been discussing that how both the universities can come closer and work together on campus and campus. Dr. Bansal, we are creating study abroad program and 3-continent program, where both the universities, they can contribute significantly. Also, we are in touch on how we can make the University of Ottawa a partner institution for our India Immersion program. As President Fremont was saying, that he wants the two-way mobility of the students. So we have got a very strong program where the students from various institutions across the globe, they spend about 4 weeks in India. So we are exploring that how we can work together on these three the initiatives also, along with the articulation programs. But after a while, I think that today we will be sitting in a smaller group to make an action plan and then take it forward. Thank you.
Sir, I would also like to propose, you made a mention, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, about cybersecurity and national security defense and artificial intelligence and quantum science. I think it's a wonderful idea because we have some very brilliant bandwidth over here of Indian Army officers who are carrying out presently their research in this particular domain. So if I may propose, this particular lot of officers, they could come down to the University of Ottawa and you could facilitate their research projects wherein the guides could be here, of course, and the co-guides could be external, that is from the University of Ottawa. You know, this actually, I'm not trying to pontificate, I'm just trying to recommend to you because there are a lot of universities which are going in for this kind of research programs wherein this cross-pollination of research ideas is being carried out. And it is extremely beneficial. In fact, and it contributes in a very fine threshold of learning and research. So may I have your comments, please?
This is very true. And among we have a lot of research projects with national defense in Canada. And just to give you an example, it's an amazing project. Our soldiers have to go up in the north. It's very cold. Sometimes they have to go in very hot countries. And we are the center of expertise as to the resistance of the bodies to deep cold. And there's a whole lab around that. I don't know if you've seen it. It's very impressive to see the experiments. And so, I mean, there's a lot because you have some very cold areas in India too, and very hot areas, needless to say. So, I mean, obviously, if you knew, I mean, a sort of research project, and maybe, I mean, you would be interested to push or to refine these research projects, but there are teams working on that. And one piece of advice, if I may, a little trick. If you want to initialize the relationship between colleagues, the best way, in my experience, is when you organize a conference, you invite one person or two, and they will come, and then they will be captive for a week with you. But they will realize the sort of research you're doing, the quality of what's being done, and it will change the world. So I would encourage you to, and if you don't know who to invite or who is the respondent to your research sort of problem, or I mean, let us know, and we'll find the sort of 2 or 3 persons, and then you can pick who you want to invite. But that's a sort of trick, and we will try to also to put forward Amity faculty members as far as we know them, but the organization of joint conferences is a smashing way.
That's a great idea. I think please start that interaction immediately, whichever forthcoming conference.
Sir, we will do it. In fact, that's a very good suggestion. And in that, they come interact with faculty and students also. So it creates a lot of bonding, and whomsoever we have called in our conference, which in engineering in all the department, every department do a conference, will send an invite. If they spend time, they can have good access of our students and faculty. And I have seen feedback which they have given. They said your students are amazing and they want to work out an option for them. So it really works. Yeah. Thank you.
That's Chakravarti.
I just wanted to comment against your suggestion. That's good that if you have the conference. But since we are talking, but it will fall flat if we do not have some communication goes from your side to your faculty, that we will be connecting the faculty. But there should be some message. Yes, we are in collaboration with the Amity University. If some proposal comes, you should respond, or we should. Otherwise, it will be, we discuss it and then we write, and they may not, as you have indicated in your lecture, that it is chair, they will go their own way. So what they want. But if we just write like that, they may not respond. That is depending on their wish, they will respond or not. But if we come across, if we are entering into a collaboration and relationship with the University of Ottawa, but if some message goes or information from the president or a vice president side that we are in collaboration with the Amity University, so that any proposal from the faculty or students, then it could be, they will be little more receptive rather than if we just go as a guest. Of course, conference is a
So I think all of us are very keen. Both are keen and pragmatic. So let us begin this collaboration. You people, the initiatives have to come from the faculties. This will enabling processes, mechanism, catalyzing that collaboration will happen from top down. But then the interaction is always horizontal. Please look into the website and in your own discipline, who are all the people there, and start dialoguing with them, corresponding with them, and also have the joint webinars, joint roundtables to assess where is the commonality convergence in terms of interest, aptitude, as well as the area of expertise together, common interest. So I think once you identify, then that will be more successful. The umbrella agreement, the enabling mechanisms, and the will, everything is there. All that is that how do you walk on that path is all left to you and the faculties over there. They will enable that. Now, we will be sending a circular with Professor Gurinder Singh that we will be sending it to all campuses, that here is a MOU signed and this is the strength in them. So similarly, we would request your departments and faculties need to be informed that there is an MOU and this is very potential areas for collaboration. So in your own interest, we encourage you to interact horizontally with the counterparts in both the institution. So I will be sending a mail, Professor Gurinder Singh will send the mail. So you people, if you can kindly do that, then that will be a common path to unite together. So with this, thank you very much for every one of you who has found time. Now let us have a little felicitation, Bhavna and Manoj.
Yeah, Dr. Silamurthy, I think that Dr. Silamurthy, maybe that after a while we will sit together to create an action plan. But I think there are 5 points which I would like to make it clear with the audience here. I think that the point number 1, we need to look at the low-hanging fruits. So maybe that we can divide ourselves and look at the priority areas where we'll be concentrating at. So first is, I think, the 3 areas where we have discussed and we are in the process of finishing with the articulation. One is business and management. Second is engineering, and third is psychology. Now here the articulation have already happened. So maybe that we can define timelines, and then we can look at that who is responsible from our side, and maybe that we can also look at that who is responsible from their side, and look at some numbers. Also look at that how we are going to implement. So this is the priority number 1. Priority number 2, we need to look at the study abroad program, which we have been discussing with the University of Ottawa, that how we are going to implement. So the next batch, I think that we are discussing in November, and then another batch next summer. So again, we need to specify that who is responsible from their side, what is going to be the cost, how the financial model will work, and then also specify the timelines in front of the priority number 2. Priority number 3, I think that is research area. So from our side, we can create a calendar which will reflect that which are the conferences which we are organizing. I think today, when the president is sitting here, it is because of the conference which we organized where he participated. We had a very good conference in Bush where he spoke. And then I think that this has given a very fruitful contribution to both the universities. So maybe that we are going to create a calendar of activities where we can work together. Fourthly, our joint research, I think that which we have identified as one of the areas. So maybe that we can look at some of the areas, maybe robotics, artificial intelligence, management, psychology, health, cyber security. And we can look at maybe exchanging 10 scholars where we can have one guide from our side and one guide from their side. But we need to specify timelines who is responsible from our side, and then we will request President Fremont to also maybe through Professor Yaya, we can specify that these are going to be the point of contact from their side. But I think that let's divide ourselves next 6 months, 1 year in the shorter term, then 2 years, what are going to be our priorities, and then in the longer run, 3 years, what are going to be our priorities. Campus in campus, which we have been discussing, that how through short duration program, we can help each other. And then when their faculty is there, and then when their students want to come during the India immersion program, then can we inaugurate their campus with MIT, and then can we inaugurate when our students are there for study abroad and for 3-continent program, our campus in their campus. So these were some suggestions, but we are going to discuss it when all of us we will sit together in a smaller group. But thank you so much, President, for coming and for gracing the occasion. And thank you so much, Professor Yaya, as we have communicated to you the vision of our founder, the vision of our chancellor, that this is a university where the outcome matters. And what I have seen in the University of Ottawa is that the University of Ottawa is a university where the result matters. So when the ideology and the philosophy of two universities are meeting, I'm sure that we will be able to have outcome approach. Thank you so very much.
So can we have the presentations?
Thank you very much for this very stimulating session.
Yeah.
And we
Dr. Jain.
would request President Fremont and Professor Yaya to please step forward together with all the guests from the dais for the felicitation ceremony.
Right over the ocean. Thank you very much.
आगे भेड़ थे ना, किसी को पता है what is the objective of assembling here today? Nobody knows. Any idea? Nobody has any idea.
I'm Bhavya, I'm from AIPS. As far as I know, we are hosting delegates from a Canadian university. That I don't, that I'm not aware of. Honors Applied Psychology, undergraduate BA. Yes, ma'am. For some interaction, for seminar.
Anybody else has an idea? If what he says is true, then why would we invite you to meet delegates from a University of Canada? Who has heard of University of Ottawa? Anybody heard of किसी नाम है सुना? तुम तो तुमने सुना होगा. हाँ 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 यहाँ से. यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ओटावा किसी ने सुना? सुना है? तो हाथ नहीं खड़ा करना था. Who wants to go and study in Canada? हाथ बड़ा भी कर सकते हो. मैं कोई क्लास नहीं ले रही हूँ, नंबर नहीं दे रही हूँ, अटेंडेंस भी नहीं ले रही हूँ वैसे. Canada, what are you doing? You're doing psychology. So how many here from ASB? Okay. How many from psychology? Right. And how many from AIBS? Okay. Which other institution is there? ACCF? BCom? You're doing BCom honors. So how many from ACCF? BTech? BTech से तुम अकेले हो? BTech Computer Science. Okay. ASB तो हो गया ना, ये ASB वाले है ना. So this is a student interaction with the president of the University of Ottawa, Canada. Those who have not heard of the University of Ottawa, Google कर लो जरा अभी पहले. So University of Ottawa is one of the top ranked universities of Canada. The president and the vice chancellor of University of Ottawa is here along with the vice president of University of Ottawa. Okay. It's rare that we have such a senior delegation. So number one, look at University of Ottawa, Google कर लो, देख लो तुम्हारे interest के programs क्या हैं. And when you are interacting, when you get up, introduce yourself, introduce your course, okay, and then introduce about aspirations of either studying abroad or whatever else is the questions they're asking. Huh? But have a look at the university. So Shinam, come. So this is Shinam Sethi. Give a round of applause to welcome her. She is the representative of University of in India. Okay. So though we are welcoming the president and the vice president from Canada today, she will be the local interface who will be helping us in case we want to do some engagement. The engagement could not only be in terms of studying in Canada, progressing for masters or the global study programs which some of our students are going to go for. It could also be for doing projects together. Okay, so tying up with a student who might be doing a good research project there. University of Ottawa, when you are googling, check their research quotient is very, very high. Okay, so Shinam, if you can give a few words.
Hi, I'm Shinam, as Bhavna introduced. So I'm working as a senior recruitment advisor for the university. I'm based in Delhi, so I will be looking at recruitment process from India. So any queries that you have during the admission process, or you would like to know about the courses available, so you can reach me. So I will be available to answer your queries. So today we have president and vice president today. So you guys will be interacting with them, and they will be introducing and guiding you throughout. All right. Have a nice time. Thank you.
So we are joined by the president and the vice president. These are students of commerce, psychology, applied sciences, BTech computer science, management, different institutions. No law student at the moment.
So my dear students, it's a great opportunity for us that we have both president and vice president of the University of Ottawa are here. And we are exploring a very strong partnership, collaboration, so that you students move to their campus, their students coming here, and we want student to student, people to people contact, which will be really lasting for generations to come. So they are here to see how brilliant our students are, whom we can immediately send in the 3-continent program, and also study abroad program, and also 2+2, 1+3. So all combinations we are looking at in terms of education, because we want you people to have exposure in their university. It could be even for short term, maybe 5 weeks. Some people may like to go and study there after your undergraduate program, postgraduate program over there. Or you may like to do your PhD there. So all this possibility exists. And similarly, we are expecting your brothers and sisters from Canada to come over to our university. So this is what is the whole purpose. So please freely interact with them. And I would request the president of Ottawa University to make a few opening remarks. Then after that, please open up your mind and heart and speak to them. Over to you, President.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. What a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. And I must say that I'm very impressed. They told me you're going to meet a few students. And well, a few students, many students. I'm very impressed. And thanks for attending this session. You know, I'm president of the University of Ottawa, and we have 45,000 students. And this is modest compared with the 200,000 students at this university. Whoops, I should take another one. Okay, so it's but students are, of course, at the heart of any university. I keep telling my professors, my faculty member, no students, no research, no research, no students, no university. So this is very important. And as I was sharing my thoughts this morning with a few faculty members, I think that now, given the world we live in, it is more important than ever that you students are given the chance to get to know the world, beyond your institution, beyond your country, and beyond your discipline. Should I use that one now? I will have used all the mics. Okay, good. So it's very important, and there are tensions around the world everywhere. There are tensions between our countries sometimes, but it is so important. You are the next generation. You are the next generation of leaders, and it is important for you to discover the world. Today, we just want to introduce in a few words my university, the University of Ottawa. Ottawa is Canada's capital, as the capital city, the way Delhi is your capital. But it's small, it's slightly smaller than Delhi. The population for the whole region of Ottawa is 1 million. So, of course, it's very different from Delhi. But it is a very, very nice city, very safe city, one of the safest cities in North America. And my university is one of the very best in Canada. That is crystal clear. And we are insisting a lot on student experience. The student experience and the way it is here has to be good, has to be great for you. And clearly, life on campus is exciting. Life between students is also exciting. My students for the last 2 years have stayed home, and they've studied from home for 2 years. We are having a convocation in 2 weeks' time, and most of the students will have spent 2 of their 3 years working from their bedroom or working from their lounge or their basement. So it has not been easy, but now we're turning the page. I think that my campus is safe, the country is safe, and I was going to say that the country is open for, especially for Indian students. If you fancy coming to study in Canada, do not hesitate. There are some very good universities, as good as this one, and I think you will gain from spending It can be a few weeks, a few months, a year or more from spending time in Canada. And as international students on my campus, we have roughly 10,000 international students coming from more than 140 countries. So that's quite a crowd. And you are entitled to have the co-op program and to benefit from all the advantages the local students have. One thing, winter is cool, but it always comes as a shock first, but people survive and thrive. I mean, the buildings are very comfortable inside. You might have family, relatives, friends who are in Canada, and you've heard about it. This is a very comfortable country. So I will be pleased to answer your questions, and also maybe I will ask you some questions. Why would you consider going to Canada? Why would you not consider going to Canada? I'd like to hear you on this. Why would you not choose Canada? Why would you choose Britain, for instance, or the US? Or what other countries would be attractive for you? It is important for us to understand where you come from. So I will shut up. I always speak too much. And I will ask my Vice President International. I'm just speaking. I'm paid to speak like this, and he has to walk the talk. So he's the one who will make things happen. So Sunny, do you want to say a few words?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So I won't be very long. The only thing that I want to add to what the president said is that India is really an important country, and it is, I believe, we came here to really explore potential partnership opportunities, with India, especially with Amity University. And we couldn't really complete this journey without having an opportunity to really interact with students, because you are basically the reason why we are here. There won't be Amity, there won't be Ottawa U without you guys. So it was really important for us to be able to talk to you, to hear what you have to say. And obviously Canada is really an important country. So is India. And for us, global citizenship really is key. You have the future, and for you to really be able to become good and true global citizen, you have to really open your minds. And you can't be able to do that by staying only in India. It is important for you to explore the world, and Canada is really keen to welcome students like you. And on a personal note, this is something that I don't talk about, but I was few years ago myself an international student to Canada, and the opportunities are endless. So please, if you really want to come to Canada, obviously, do consider Ottawa U. We have good universities, obviously. You have UBC, Toronto. Of course, I'm here to talk for Ottawa U. So please do consider Ottawa U. It's really a good university. The city is safe. It is the national capital of the country. There's a lot to learn in Canada, and obviously there's a lot to learn at Ottawa U. So thank you again, and we'll be more than happy to hear your thoughts and to answer any question that you might have. Thank you.
Just to add one point, why Ottawa U? Because we're sexier, of course. But why Canada now? One thing is clear. We have a crisis now in Canada, and that crisis is not COVID. It's a labor crisis. Canadians are getting older, old guys like me, all over the place, but the young generation is not sufficient. We need immigrants. To give you an idea, Canada will welcome this year, as we speak, 400,000 immigrants. So we're just saying this is a huge amount, and we need each and every of these 400,000 immigrants. And students, when they study in Canada, your student visa allows you to stay in Canada and work for at least it's 2 years, isn't it? Yeah. To take Canadian work experience. So that is very significant if you consider, and I'm not suggesting you should not come back to this country. It's important that Indians remain in India and build tomorrow's India. But what I'm saying is that it is an opportunity also to go in Canada, study in Canada, but then to live in Canada a little. So, so we're open for questions or comments. And
Yes,
really
my dear
impressed.
students, please, now you can open up and start interacting. Anyone who is going to start? Yeah, please. Just introduce yourself, name, and your which course you are doing, which semester.
Greetings, sir. I am Bhavya Dua from BA Honours Applied Psychology, AIPS. I would like to start my comment by expressing the gratitude with this famous saying that divided by borders, united by knowledge. I came across the research portfolio of School of Psychology, University of Ottawa, and when I came to Amity, I didn't come with a psychology background. I just came with a dream of becoming a counselor. But the research portfolio and the research opportunities of Amity have been pushing me towards the research world. And I would be delighted to get the opportunity to study the research in Canada. And however much of us know, Canada is a warm and welcoming country. And I do aim to do a dissertation in my next semester, aiming a little higher, but yeah. And when I reach out to the world to see my research and verify it for themselves, I think scholars of University of Ottawa have topped my list. Thank you, sir.
You mentioned a research portfolio. It's important. There are opportunities for research even when you are an undergraduate student. It's entrenched in the curriculum, and of course there's more research at the graduate level, MA and PhD, and you have full access to the research labs. So it's how can I say, the teaching labs and the research labs. And I guess the same then here, but the research portfolio is very important in whatever field. To give you an example I was giving this morning, our researchers, they start the year with $0. Last year they ended the year with $430 million of research grants, peer-reviewed research grants and research contracts. So it means that it is, in choosing the University of Ottawa, you choose a huge research machine also, a research enterprise, and undergraduate students are very much part of that. I'm very impressed again by the number of students. It's standing only. You will find scalpers selling tickets in the corridor.
Any of these frontline girls? Yeah, just get the mic.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ipshita, and I'm currently doing my master's in statistics from Amity. And I'm interested in doing a PhD in statistics as well from Canada itself. I've been applying to a few universities, and I applied for University of Ottawa and Carleton as well. I have got a few offers, one from Wilfrid Laurier already, and I'm awaiting a few from yours as well. So I'd like to know, like, I reached out to a few teachers. I was interested in, making my guide, and I maybe because they were a little busy or something, I wasn't able to get. I wasn't able to get through to them. So I was hoping, is there any way that how should I reach out to the professors and apply for the program?
Thank you very much for choosing the University of Ottawa. Obviously, you should come to Ottawa. I understand that you've applied to other universities. I do not know the program that we have in statistics, so I think to make it simple, you may want to drop me a note, an email, and I will try to reach out to some of the profs. And I will put you in touch with them. So that will be much more easier, obviously. I think you did the right thing. Sometimes, obviously, these profs are very busy. I recall myself, I did my studies in Canada and I did my postdoc in the US. And if you want to know, I believe I sent about 3,000 emails to profs across the US. I end up doing my postdoc at Yale. So sometimes it's not easy, because they get a lot of requests from students across the globe, from India, from China, from Africa, and so on. So I mean, you need to be resilient. But getting into this program is really itself a huge achievement. But as soon as you get into a PhD program at Ottawa U, whether a prof decides to supervise your work or not, when you get into the program, the faculty has the duty to find a supervisor for you. So that shouldn't be a problem. Just drop me a line, and I will try to make it easier for you, if you don't mind. So just Google my name, Sani Yaya plus ottawayouth.ca, and you'll find my email address.
Sure. Because I like to share that I've been studying French here for the past 10 years. And I thought maybe going to a country where both French and English is spoken, so it would be a plus point for me. So that's why I chose Canada.
Wonderful. So as you know, Ottawa U is the largest bilingual university in the world. And for you, obviously, I was talking about global citizenship earlier. That's really is important. So obviously, you are speaking English, which is good. As you know, Canada is a bilingual country. And for you to be able to get the opportunity to learn another language is key. So many of our students today speak minimum 2, even more languages. So if you are able to really learn French, that is a plus. And the good news also is that many of those students who come to Ottawa U can still learn French, but submit their assignment in English. So we are trying to make sure that the desire to learn another language doesn't prevent students from getting good grades. So you can learn, you can take your classes in French, but then submit your assignment in English as well. So we have those all those possibilities. Yeah. And the other thing that you may want to know is that if you come to Ottawa U and decide to study in French, it's also less expensive. We have no dedicated scholarship program for those who are coming to Ottawa U. So I will say right now, 30% of our students are studying in French and 70% in English. Something that I may also bring to your attention is that Indian students, I believe, are the third largest international student community within Ottawa U. The top, I believe, is China. The second is Morocco, and the third is India. So we have about 600 students. Obviously, we would like to grow more, have more international students from India. But if you come to Ottawa U, obviously, you won't be alone, for sure. Thank you.
Good. Wish you all the best. Who is going to speak next? Yeah, please, just give the mic.
My greetings to the panel. Good afternoon, sir. So my name is Neha Chauhan, and I'm an undergraduate student. I'm studying management, and my course is BBA plus MBA integrated. So before my question, first of all, I'd like to express that it's not only great, but I think it's a relief that there are people who are actually concerned about education and about globalization, because among the as you mentioned, sir, a lot of tension is going in the world, especially if you talk about Russia and Ukraine. So yeah, it's really a relief to see you all here. Now, my question. Sir, as you know, I'm doing an integrated program. So I just wanted to know that are there integrated programs available there also, like in management?
Yeah, President, she would like to know, do you have integrated program, undergraduate, postgraduate, integrated program, like what she is doing now?
In management.
In management.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I can speak to that one. In management, I'm not sure, but we do have integrated program, undergrad and graduate program at the University of Ottawa. So the vast majority of our undergrad program really takes 4 years, and the masters will take 2. So in total, you have 6 years. So with the integrated option, instead of doing 6 years, to get both your undergrad and your grad degree, you will do 5 years in many of those options that we offer. So yes, the answer is yes. We do have those integrated programs available at Ottawa U. For Telfair School of Business, this is something that I will need to check.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Imad Khan from BA Psychology, and I'm currently a second-year student. I'll be going to UK after completing this semester only to the University of Portsmouth. And the reason I made that choice is because I'll be getting a very immediate upside to it. That is, I'm getting a scholarship because it's a path created by the University of Amity only. They'll be providing me with a 1 year of placement. That is a full-time job for a 1 year. And then I think UK is also like the only country where I'll be able to work, not in a high position, but still after completing my UG. So is there any information that you can provide me with to change my mind and especially go to Canada and your university?
So I will start, and the president may want to add to that. So first of all, I spent some years in UK. So I spent some years at Oxford University, and right now I'm distinguished prof at Imperial College in London. So I can tell you, if you really want to compare, UK is a way more expensive than Canada, for sure. This is something that I'm sure you know. The tuition fees at Oxford are really not accessible to many students. And also, if you consider the cost of living as well, again, I know from experience because I spent some time in London. So it's really expensive, nothing compared to Canada. So that is the first thing. The second thing, ask yourself why many Indian students come to Canada. Obviously, the quality of life, is not compared to what you can experience in UK. That is the first thing. The quality of education as well. Obviously, Ottawa U is not Cambridge, is not Oxford, but we do rank high. As you know, Ottawa U rank among the top 1% institution across the world. The other thing that I will add is that the possibility after your studies. I was talking to you earlier that myself, I was an international student in Canada. So look where I am today. And you also, I'm sure you are aware of that, the opportunities that you can access after your studies in Canada. The possibility to use your studies in Canada as a pathway to immigration. The president mentioned earlier, I know what is going on in Europe. After your studies, if you really want to secure a job in Europe, you know what is going on as well with the Brexit. The opportunities in Canada are endless. Many of our students after the degree usually get 2 year work permit. And recently, the immigration minister in Canada added 18 more months. So in the end, after your studies, you can stay and work in Canada for more than 2 years, I would say 3 years basically. And after that as well, there is the possibility for you to obviously become a permanent resident. And in Canada, if you spend 3 years in Canada to study, basically, it will take you less than a year to become a permanent resident. And after that, add another 2 years to become a Canadian citizen. I mean,
I would add maybe a couple of points, if I may. What I'm going to say is nasty, but if you go to the UK, check the university where you're going, because the reputation for the UK is that as a student, undergraduate, you don't get to see real faculty members throughout your course. I mean, the faculty members are not there. It's taught by all sorts of people. And it is certainly a frustration with many foreign students going to the UK. They say, we're paying big prices to prestigious universities and we don't see the profs. So that is clearly. The other thing is, let's be frank, Canada is not a perfect society. But in terms of discrimination and diversity, this is one of the good places around the planet in those terms, and it does make a difference, especially for foreign students, to feel welcome or to feel that the world around you is adversarial. So this is a difference. I'm sorry to say, but Canada, and don't read that Canada is perfect. It is not perfect. I don't know any perfect societies. But in terms of EDI, or inclusion, diversity, we're not bad. And certainly on our campuses, we make sure we make a point and we follow that very closely, that there's place for everyone, despite the colors, the religions, the language, the accents, and so on and so forth. It is extremely important. And there's a sort of implicit social contract that everybody is welcome.
So I'm hoping that you are not convinced that Canada should be your choice number one. But as the president said, it's not a perfect country, but we are doing our best. And in terms of EDI, obviously, this is really something important to consider. And the quality of life. Look at all the rankings. I mean, Canada is a very great country. It's a place where, and I can attest, from experience, it's a place where you can feel welcome. There is a reason why, obviously, right now, again, for those who like numbers, Canada right now, I believe, is really, I believe, the destination number 3 in the world in terms of international students. We used to be number 9, and in just 1 decade, we are right now number 3 country in the world in terms of the number of international students that we are attracting. So there must be a reason why students are coming to Canada.
Good afternoon. I'm Joel V. George. I'm studying BTech Robotics in Amity. Actually, I got professional admission in University of California, but actually it was $100,000, almost 80 lakhs in Indian rupees. I can't afford that money. So I am actually planning to pursue MBA after robotics undergraduation. So in the University of Ottawa, how can you provide me with scholarship? Because in University of California, I was not eligible for scholarship, even though I had 92% in my high school. Yeah. So how can you help me with the scholarship?
This is the question that we keep getting from all international students. And this is no surprise. All students who come to Canada want to get scholarships, and it's a very, I guess it makes sense. for you to be able to secure those scholarships. What I can tell you right now is that no, we do have scholarship for international students. If you look at our website, there are scholarships that we give every year. And I believe, the president can correct me if I'm wrong, Ottawa U is really the first university across the U15 research intensive university that really dedicate a huge amount of its budget to scholarships. I can tell you that we spend a lot, millions and millions of dollars in scholarship every year. Obviously, there are scholarships for students. You do need to meet some specific requirements in order to be able to get those scholarships, because we have 43,000 students, and it is impossible to give scholarship to every single student for obvious reason. But we do have those scholarships. All the information is online. And those scholarships are obviously for high performing students. So when you apply to Ottawa U, we will really review your file, and many of the scholarship you don't even have to apply. It is automatic. So we review your grades, and if they are good enough, you do have the possibility to get those scholarships.
I never won any money at the lottery. You know why? Because I never got any tickets. So I would say, do apply to scholarship, do apply to get in universities, and who knows? I mean, you might win at the lottery, or you might find a way to get your way. But if you don't try, I mean, there's no way you'll get it.
Thank you.
Yeah, after you want to ask.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Chandan. I'm a student of DBA International.
Keep it closer.
I'm a student of DBA 3C International. I have a questions. I have a keen interest in a startup innovation and research. So I have questions related to that. Like Amity have a club innovation incubator. They help to startup to grow. Like same as Ottawa have anything to boost a startup or provide a funding to their students, a startup mindset students.
No, he actually wants to know that he would like to have a startup. So do University of Ottawa encourage people through incubator or through the innovation startups? Is there any way you promote these kind of endeavor besides the education? That's the point.
The short answer is yes. We do have incubators, but we also do have what we call our entrepreneurship center, where obviously we really try to encourage students, to push them. Actually, many of our students were able to create, to launch, their businesses, from the University of Ottawa. And we also do link many of our students to the businesses. We have an important center that we call Canada North. The president, I believe, briefly talked about that this morning. So those students who really want to be entrepreneurial, who want to start business, to launch their businesses, to try things, we do have a dedicated center within our university where we can really try those ideas. And yes.
Just one point, if it is in the IT sector, or if it touches the IT sector or the e-business, I don't know, I don't think I told you that, but Ottawa is the #2 Silicon Valley of Canada. The #1 is the Greater Toronto region, which is very wide. #2 is Ottawa, and it is concentrated. So there are hundreds and hundreds of small, medium, and very big multinational enterprises in the same place. And we have also a faculty there. So there are offices, classes, and co-op programs with all these companies. So the ecosystem in terms of information technology is one of the strongest in Canada, if not the strongest. And so students who want to to work with IT enterprises in Canada. I mean, the IT enterprises are looking for students like this, you know. No students who wants to work is left aside. They all take, and believe me, and often it transforms itself later on in full-time jobs as soon as they graduate. There's a lot of competition. It's one of the areas in Ottawa, in Canada, where really people are starving for talent in those sectors. So yes, startups, yes, but there's also chances to really get some very meaningful experience.
Thank you. Thank you, President. Yes, please. Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. This side Aring Rover from BB International. Sir, actually, I have a very normal doubt. So, as like my goal is to move to Canada in future. So, as per your opinion, I would like to hear your opinion. So, what do you prefer? Should I prefer university over a province, or should I prefer a province over a university? Like, should I prefer Vancouver over Ottawa because of the economy region, or should I prefer university, like University of Ottawa over Toronto?
So
Thank you, sir.
If I get your question is, should you choose Vancouver over Ottawa? Is that your question? Well, I mean, you are asking this question to someone who moved from Montreal to Ottawa. Obviously, no, I do know Vancouver. It depends. No, it really depends. No, what you are trying to achieve. Again, Vancouver is a nice place. A good place, I would say. Obviously, no, there is no perfect city. Vancouver do have some challenges as well. Just know for accommodation, as you know, it's a very expensive, province, city. I would say Vancouver is not cheap. So depending on what you are trying to do, again, I would say it depends. If you want to study, I understand that you will be coming to Canada in 2023. So again, Ottawa is a very nice place. Ottawa is not far from Montreal. We are in the middle, actually. From Ottawa, you can easily go to Montreal. You can go to Toronto. You can travel across the country. Yes, Vancouver is a nice place, but again.
But very quickly, Vancouver is a tremendous place. You better have a thick wallet. It's the most expensive city in Canada, and by a long stretch. So just for leasing an apartment or having a room, it's tough even for Canadians who have money. So, but there are all sorts of considerations, and I would say visit the websites, talk to people. Vancouver is a tremendous option. Lots of it's a city very open in Asia, so lots of Asian population and things. I mean, just do your shopping. When you're a student, you want to study abroad. I mean, what we're telling you is consider Ottawa, consider the others, but we're telling you that Canada is a pretty good deal. But on the high end, expensive end, Vancouver is on the expensive end, definitely.
So let's give a big clap to President and Vice President who have spent so much time with you. That itself shows the welcoming of University of Ottawa for our students. So please make use of this opportunity. And also we are trying to create opportunity through study abroad program, 3-continent program, to give a brief exposure to their university. Then when you go there, you'll have a feel of it. So that is also another way to interface you with Canadian institution, our University of Ottawa. So best wishes and blessings to all of you.
Well, I was going to say thanks for attending this session this afternoon. It was great seeing you. If you happen to be in Canada, if you happen to never shy away, walk on campuses, speak with people, call my office, and you will have a good sense of what is going on.
Hello, Gurinder, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So they enjoyed a brief visit to Amity Institute of Molecular Medicine and Stem Cell Research. They went to Amity School of Communications, Central Library. They just walked through before they went to ASCO. And we couldn't show them yet the laboratory because of the paucity of time. But now I thought we should now discuss the roadmap, which is very important for both University of Ottawa as well as for us. So can we request you to start the discussion so that we can you can lead the discussion, then we will take the views of President and also Vice President. Over to you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Silamurthy. And once again, very warm welcome, Professor Fairmount and Professor Yaya. I think that since morning you have been able to see the university, meet our wonderful colleagues. I think that what we can do is that for our all initiatives which we have discussed, we can now spell down the action plan and timelines and responsibility areas. From our side, we will be able to allocate dedicated colleagues of ours who will be corresponding with your team. And then from your side, maybe you can also specify that these are the team members. And then we can look at the timelines for short term, for medium term, and for long term, what we are going to achieve. So I think that I will just suggest few initiatives which we have been able to discuss in the past, which includes our articulation, research initiatives, joint PhD, 3-continent program, our India immersion program, campus in campus. And then if there are any other points which you feel that we have left over, then maybe that you can suggest. Also, as I have communicated you on the phone, our founder, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, has spoken to the Chancellor, and then a very urgent meeting of our Governing Council was convened, and we proposed to confer on you an honorary PhD and honorary professorship on Professor Yaya. Thank you so very much for accepting this honor. You'll be meeting our Vice Chancellor also of this campus, Dr. Shukla, very shortly once you'll go. But thank you so very much. We will make an occasion to celebrate this. So I think the very first thing is that the long outstanding points which we have been discussing was the articulation arrangements in management, in psychology, and in engineering. So in the business, we have been able to finalize 2+2 arrangement. In the engineering, we have been able to explore 1+3 option. And in the psychology, we have been able to look at 2+2 options. Our request was that we can do these programs, first part of the program, anywhere in India or in other parts where MIT has campuses, including in Canada. And then second part of the program can be in your university. So from our side for business, we have got a very able colleague of ours, Professor Bhavna Kumar, who is here. She will be looking at the business programs. We are suggesting that. And for engineering, we will be having Dr. Abhay Bansal. and Dr. Manoj Pandey, who will be looking at it. And in psychology, we will have Dr. Ranjana Bhatia, who will be able to lead it. Right, and the entire coordination for these programs will be done by my office. And for academic content mapping of the exercises, Professor Bhavna Kumar and Dr. Naina Chaudhary, who are in charge, and Dr. Naina Chaudhary is also the additional director in my office, who looks after academic mapping and has got long experience of working on accreditation. Both of them, they will be looking at any other formality which we need to still further pursue in this matter.
Mr. Gurinder, may I suggest that let us take first the November, our students have to go on.
Yeah, Dr. Sulamurthy, I'm coming on it because I think this was the first initiative we have discussed in the past. So second initiative which we have discussed in the past is study abroad program. But I think in the first initiative, if from your side you can nominate, or if you want to take some time, if you want to give now the names of the people, you can give now the names. Then we can quickly fill it up. And then if you feel that later on you need to write it up, you can write it up. Professor Bhavna, can we quickly type it also on the screen so that everyone can see, and then we can define timelines?
In the meantime, President, would you like to make some response to whatever he's...
Yes. So yes. So in terms of the negotiations, I think the go-to person right now will remain Alain Mallet. So you have been in touch with Alain, and Alain has been talking with the Vice Dean for the business program, Umar, at Telfair School of Management. And for psychology, it's the current chair of the School of Psychology, Christopher Fennell, who will be the go-to person. So I can share this detail by email, and I think that the conversation that we started a few months ago can continue, and hopefully with some specific timeline we can come up with something in the near future. So I'm happy to share those information by email.
Okay. And the financial model also needs to be finalized. So maybe the teams can meet and then we can finalize the articulation arrangement, financial arrangement, and maybe that we can specify timelines. Should we keep 1 month for finalizing everything? 30 days are okay?
Yeah, so in terms of the financial discussion, my understanding is that you had a very good conversation with Alain Mallet as well. You were part of that discussion, right?
Right. Yeah, so I discussed, and then he has to come up with the financial model, which he has not proposed so far. So that is why we are keeping 30 days, and maybe that from your office, if you can look at it, can do follow up, and then whatever you will propose, then we will have one-to-one discussions and can finalize them.
Good. So I think in order to be able to finalize the financial model, we'll need to have a better sense of the number of students. So for psychology, I believe the number of seats that we were able to guarantee was 15. You got that information as well. So we'll do same for engineering. Engineering, it will be more for now for the masters at the master's level. And for Telfair School of Management, Alain is working with the Vice Dean, and we should be in a better position to get back to you, within the next few days with more information. And with those information, we will be able to agree on a model. So the main issue that we had, and I had that discussion earlier with you as well, is in terms of tuition fees. Obviously, we need to make sure that it's a win-win situation. I mentioned the challenges with our fees. They are high compared to what students pay here. And so we need to find a way to make sure that obviously when those students come to Ottawa U, we are not losing money. That's really important for us. And we also need to make sure that it is beneficial to Amity. So that is where we will need to sit down and come up with a model that is really mutual beneficial to both partners.
Absolutely. I think that we fully agree with you, Professor Yaya. I think that's the spirit behind the partnership, that no university loses revenue and both the universities gain revenue. As you will appreciate that if MIT is sending students, the first 2 years are with us and then the next 2 years are with you, we lose revenue as such, because if we are transferring the students, then the revenue is lost. But then we want to come on the financial arrangement where neither we are losing and neither there is any loss to you. And our segment is very clear. So unlike agents where that they keep and they do false promises, in MIT out of the 21:1 is the ratio. Right. So rather in business, it is 27:1. In engineering, it is 21:1. In psychology, I think again it is 21 or 22:1. So that is the ratio how we are taking the students. And Ms. Sethi, you must be having a better idea on how Indian markets they work. Professor Yaya, here in Indian markets, that what happens is that most of the universities, so Ottawa is a very reputed university. But if you look at the interest of the agents, they will only sell the universities, or they will only position those universities from where they are getting more commissions, right? Whereas the intention of the university, like ours, is to build the brand, to look at that we have the strategic ties. We should be able to look at working on patents. We should be having those ties which can survive, a relationship which can survive for many decades, many centuries. So our intention, and we are not for profits. So this is a university where the objective is not to earn profits, but to serve the students. So our intention is always going to be to get best students and then have stronger ties with our partner. But of course, that we need to see that there should not be loss to the university. So we would request you that to look at and then suggest a model which is not a loss to us, but is also a good revenue and source of revenue to Ottawa. So this is on the articulation on these three programs, but let's try to finalize it at the earliest. Dr. Manoj Sharma, who was coordinating from our office, will also be coordinating on the business aspect. We'll be looking at it. I think that he was already in touch with your team. And then our three very prominent deans from business, from engineering, and from psychology, they will be working with your colleagues very closely. We are keeping timelines of 1 month.
So we have noted, and we will follow up with the team of Vice President Office, and we'll keep you posted on that. And if any approvals are required, we'll definitely come back with. So let's keep 30 days from now, because our intention is that we have our students ready for transfer for 2022. If we can quickly have a look on the articulations.
Yeah.
So we have, because you have met a couple of students who have very categorically said we wanted to go to Ottawa. So it would be quite helpful for us if we can make a quick and a modest picnic.
Absolutely. So that means that the team will have to meet in the next few days. And hopefully we will be able to come up with an agreement that is mutually beneficial to both partners.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's not a problem. We will send the green light to the team and ask them to accelerate the conversations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's really required. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, and Professor Yaya, since we are proposing that students from MIT University can do first part of the program at the first part of the program at MIT campuses, which includes that we can offer a program at Canada. Are there any statutory permissions or approvals which you need to take? Or articulation comes under the purview of the university only?
Yeah, so that is part of the conversation that we are having with our deans right now. So for psychology, so we are talking about three specific programs right now: psychology, business, and engineering. So as you know, obviously, for engineering, as we mentioned earlier, those programs are really accredited program, both engineering and TELFER as well. business management. So the conversation that we are having right now with our deans internally is know what it takes. So they will let us know exactly what it takes, what type of approval we require to make that happen. And so within the next few days, Alain should be able to get back to you. He will be in a better position to get back to you with that information, so we know exactly how we can get things moving. So within the next few days, we'll get that information as well.
Okay. I think that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Oui, absolument.
One of the issues I understand in the business school is that they have the Triple Crown agreements. You might have heard about that. So they have the 3 major agreements. And so there are obligations coming with that, and they don't want to threaten their Triple Crown. So it has to fit in what they do and how they do. So that's what the dean told me when I saw him on the sidewalk at 7 in the morning when he was locking his bike.
Yeah.
1+3 for engineering still available on.
I believe the 1+3. I don't have the final answer to that. Alain, is having a conversation right now with the dean. There are some technical details that we need to figure out. Yeah, Olga sent you a proposal, but she told me that she's yet to hear from you. Did you told her formally that the 3? Oh, you said that? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So if you said that even today when I get back to Delhi, I can send her an email and copy you. So if the Faculty of Engineering is happy with that model, and if it suits you as well, I think we can move forward.
I think that in principle we agreed on 1+3, but we can have discussions and formally make a document which can satisfy the requirements of both the universities. The second, I think the major initiative which we wanted to take was the study abroad program. And this is, I think, the easy and the low-hanging fruit. And we have been discussing this with you in the past also. I think that the first batch we want to send in the month of November. So we need to look at it. We are targeting somewhere about 100 students should be able to come. So I think that this is one very interesting area where we wanted to understand that how you will be able to welcome them. Will you be able to absorb about 100 students? They will be coming for the duration of about 5 weeks to you.
Yeah, so for the study abroad program, so what I have seen is the proposal on psychology, engineering, and business. So for the study abroad program, I was wondering whether you had a chance to discuss that with Alain Maleta as well. Dr. Manoj, did you get a chance to discuss that with Alain? Okay, perfect. Because I haven't seen a proposal on that. So it would be good to see something. And that is less complicated, to be honest with you. So if you are able to send us a formal proposal so we can see exactly what you are proposing and what you expect from us, we can take it from there. But again, that's what should be less complicated.
And I think that would be a very good platform, that if we are talking about campus in campus, if the students are there, from our side, I think study abroad programs are those programs where we are offering very liberal scholarships to our students, and then we are sending them to the different destinations. The objective of the university is that each and every student who's a part of MIT family should be given an opportunity to go abroad for a while to understand the culture of the different countries. And there is a huge interest of the students to go to Canada. So I think once the students are there, they will also act like an ambassador of both the universities. They will be there with you for 5 weeks, then they will be coming back, they will be putting on social media what they have learned, they will be writing their dissertation reports. And I think that is the best way of creating a goodwill and bond between the two universities. Absolutely. They will act like the student ambassadors, and they will further build our relationship. Sure. Also, the faculty will be accompanying them. So I think that one of the points where Professor Fairmont was saying that to know each other is most important. I think that any senior faculty who's coming, they will be able to build a bond with the faculty members of your university, can shortlist the areas where they can work together. And that is how we want to build this partnership further. From our side, we have got a dedicated department, and Mr. Gaurav Bhatnagar, who is our assistant director, and Prateek Deka, who is sitting here, along with Mr. Kanish Jain, whom you met in the morning. So there are two assistant directors, and Prateek Deka. They will be looking after the study abroad program.
So if I may, for the study abroad program, how many students are we talking about here? How many?
We are talking about 100 students.
100 students per semester or per year?
This is twice a year, so 200 students a year, and each semester 100 students.
Okay. Okay, perfect. That's good to know.
But then this will be requiring a lot of planning at both the ends, where they will be staying, how they will be coming. And I think that one week or 2 weeks they will be spending in Toronto also. We like to show them some culture of Canada, and then rest of the period they will be with you. So we need to look at the costing, how much fee, how much scholarship we can offer, how you will be able to accommodate, what is going to be the cost. But this is basically a goodwill exercise which we want to do to build our partnership step by step. So wherever we have opened a campus or we have got strong relationship, we are offering study abroad program. For example, in UK, we have got our own university, MIT University in London, but we started with a study abroad program. And then we saw that it has strengthened our bonds with the various universities there. Similarly, we in Singapore, where we have got a campus, we have been able to create a very strong bond between our students and the various universities of Singapore. We want to do similar thing in Canada, that we should send large number of students who should become goodwill ambassadors, should come with the experience they have, and then they should speak on themselves that what the university is offering. So let's keep another 20 days to look at the model, and then look at that how the students will be coming. I was also speaking to the Canadian High Commission today after our meeting, and they have advised us that if the students have to go in November, then by the end of August we should be able to send them that how many students, if possible, their names, so that the visas, etc., can be processed in the month of September. It normally takes 3 months to process the applications. So after our meeting today, we had a meeting with the Canadian High Commission, and they were very kind enough to say that they will be able to take this on priority. You also had a meeting last evening. So Mr. Basin has assured that they will do everything to see that the partnership between both the universities should strengthen. But then we need to act fast if we are targeting November.
That's really good to know, because now I was about to ask you a question regarding visa. So you have been sending students to Canada in the past. Can you speak to your experience? No, is it easier to get visa for your students? No, do you have any data about the refusal rate for your students? Because we had a conversation yesterday with the Truth Commissioner at the High Commission, and visa processing is really a big deal now. So when you say that you want to send students to Canada in November, obviously the sooner they start the process, the better.
Yeah, I think that you are 100% right, that visas of Canada are taking a bit of time, maybe because of COVID. But we have seen in the past that the visa normally takes about 2 to 3 months. Rather, the Trade Commissioner was saying that you take a time of 3 months, though they will try, that they should be able to process every papers within 2 months or faster. But still, I think that to be on the safer side, if the students are coming in November, we need to be well prepared that by August, everything is in order. We have the names of the students. We are shortlisting them. So far, Professor Yaya, our experience has been that the rejection rate of our students are very low. So, for example, you know that for UK, our success rate is 99.9%. And they have given us now that the UK High Commission sends the representative to the campus. That is a kind of reputation we have been able to build up. That they send their representative to the campus to look at and take the visa applications. Similarly, for Singapore, our success rate is 100%. We have not been able to send students so far to Canada in huge numbers, but all the students who are going on articulation arrangement, there has been no problem. But it takes time. So I will tell you my own experience. My son got a admission in UFT, University of Toronto, and it took sweet 2 months for us to process the application and to get the visas, though we had got very good linkages. So I think that we should take at least 2 months' time in our hand, because it is not about the university, but I think that process is taking a long time.
That is what
That's what I just said. There's a biometrical dimension in the visa process, and my understanding is that many of the rejected files, it's because it was not done properly. So I guess there could be could be a good thing to invest with the High Commission, the Canadian High Commission, to know exactly that part, and also what students should say on the questionnaire, because some answers might be given naively, but it sort of sends the file in the cyberspace, and it doesn't make sense. So I mean, and I'm not competent. I mean, Sunny's not competent, but we understand its part. So if there's a good if the High Commission helps you and you get the know-how, it will make the visa process much faster.
Absolutely. I think that, President, you have said it. And today in our meeting with the Trade Commissioner, this point was flagged off, that we need to see that the students who are coming, they are very genuine students. And he said that there's no doubt about it, that looking at the reputation of both the universities, they will facilitate. But then he was also saying that the moment it is decided, then both the universities have to send a letter. So we will send a letter from our side, and we would request you to send a letter from your side that these students are coming to you. And then he is going to help us to process the visa faster.
Wonderful.
I think not, yeah. So we will we request you that if the model can come to us from our side, what we are expecting from the university is basically experiential learning, not more than 20 sessions for the students, but more of experiential learning. They can go to the various departments. One dedicated classroom can be there, and on reciprocal basis, we will be more than happy to offer through scholarships to your students to do India immersion program. This is a very strong program where students have been coming to India. We take them to the various companies. They stay at campus. You must have seen the facilities we have been able to create for the international students, our international hostel. They stay here. So this is another proposal which we like to give you, that students who want to understand India, they can come under the India immersion program. Professor Fremont, right now we are offering similar programs to the Australian students under the new Colombo plan. So under the new Colombo plan, large number of Australian students, they are coming and they are spending some time at MIT University. And we are the largest partner of all the G8, Group 8 universities of Australia. Similarly, in UK, they have got a UKRI scheme. And I know, Professor Yaya, you have got long experience of working with UK universities. So under this scheme, the students are coming and they are spending some time with us. And all of them, they have appreciated this program. So if you want to send students who want to experience that how Indian companies work, how they can start their businesses here, how our IT and software companies, they are concentrating on Canada and on America, we will be more than happy to host them. So I think study abroad program and India immersion programs, we will be able to share our details with you, and then you can share your costing also, so that we can look at that how we can make these programs a goodwill ambassador programs for both the universities.
The Amity India immersion program is really a great opportunity, and we will be more than happy to disseminate and share this with our students. And I will also appreciate it if you can share some data. I'm curious to see how many students came to Amity under this program, which university, which country. That can be very useful for us as well. Good.
Absolutely, we can share this data, and as I was saying, that we are the largest partner of Australian universities, largest partner of UK universities, and I'm sure that Canadian government will also be coming up with a similar scheme. But we can take step forward, and both the universities can start planning this program also. The third. I think that the major initiative which we want to take is our program where the students are spending 3 months in Canada. So this is again our degree, so it is a low-hanging fruit where no articulation or no mapping is required. This is known as 3-continent program, where the students were earlier going to UK, then to USA, and of course the first part of the program was done in India. We want to now include Canada to our programs, and it would be great if we can plan now. We have got somewhere about 200 students already which are enrolled in this program, but we can give this option that how many of them they will like to take Canada also. So we can expect that in the very first year at least 50 students will be able to come. This will further build up our relationship, because these students, they come for longer duration. They're not coming for 5 weeks, but they're going for 3 months. But we will send you these details, and we'd like to understand that what is going to be the cost of delivering this program. But we are not asking for credits from your side. We are simply, they are writing their projects, they are taking experiential learning, and they are part of your classroom system.
So where are these students going? So you said 3 continents, I guess, Europe, North America. What is the third continent?
They are in India, they are in UK, yeah. First part in India. Wonderful. Second part in UK, third part in America. So I think that we would like to now all of them to spend 3 months with your university, and the data suggests that all these students, they are very and extremely successful. We took this data that after spending 10 years, that once they are out of the program, where they are placed. And the data was, President, that all these students, they were better placed. They were globally positioning their profile. And this is one of the very successful programs which we have been able to launch. Yeah. And I think that this will further bring both the universities closer to each other also, because throughout the year we can see movements of the students. We will see students coming with their proposals, and through study abroad program and 3-continent program, we will be able to generate goodwill and publicity, which can further attract students for the full-time programs.
So I was wondering, is this a new program, or is it a program that is already running? Is it?
This is a program which we are running from the last 20 years. So 20 years. So this is a very well-established program. But this time we want to include Canada. So earlier the concentration was only UK and USA. Okay. But what we have observed is, Professor Yaya, that that initially, if you look at 90s, the concentration of every student was Europe. They wanted to go to UK. Then we saw that students, they started concentrating on US. But in the latest, in the last 2-3 years, we have seen that majority of the Asian students, especially from Indian origin, they would like to go to Canada. And I think that President Fremont has very specifically and pointed out that what is the reason. I think that one is immigration. that this year about 450,000 Indian students are becoming a part of your system because of the immigration facilities which government has announced. Last year also we saw 400,000 immigration vacancies were there. And Canada needs skilled people. And to our knowledge, the government of Canada wants young students to be a part of the system who can be flexible, who can be trained well, who are being trained by some good universities in Canada, so that once they become a part of the Canadian system, or if they do business with Canada, they know that with whom they are dealing. So I think that catching them young is the objective, and students are loving it. So giving this option to the students is going to build our programs, is going to build the reputation of both the universities in the times to come.
Great.
So we will keep about 30 days to finalize the content of these programs also, and we'll take it further. Then I think that another proposal which we discussed today was PhD programs, where the supervision, joint supervision of the PhD can be there, which is again a low-hanging fruit, as both the universities, they will identify the scholars. Maybe initially we can look at 10 scholars in the area of business, in the area of AI, in the area of engineering, in the area of biotechnology, and in the area of health and cybersecurity. I think these were the areas which we discussed during our initial discussions: business, engineering, AI, biotech, health, cybersecurity, right? And can send you the list of our scholars and their guides. And from your side, maybe then you can suggest that these are the guides from your side. And I think it's going to be a long-term project, but these 10 students, they will be able to, and maybe that every year we can look at 10 scholars joining this program. But then this can be a very powerful PhD program, and can become the ambassador program of both the universities. We have got a large number of students. I think the highest number of PhDs and patents which we have been able to file, which is actually the core strength of MIT. We are research-driven university, and our intention is that we should publish more and we should do commercial research. So I think this is one area where we would like to work with you. And then through these scholars, we can look at STIF, we can look at our business schools, we can look at our social science schools, that how they can come closer to each other also. So another area from these scholars, once we know each other, is going to be that how we can further file joint patents. So once we have scholars from both the sides, we can then make a roadmap that if there are patents to be filed, then how those patents can be filed together. We have got about 3,000 case studies which have been contributed by our business schools. So if we have to file copyrights and business schools we want to write, then the scholars from both the sides, how they can work together. But initially we will work on the 10 PhD scholars. We will send you the list of the students from our side and their guides. And we will request you if you can also allocate the guides, and then one-to-one discussion between the faculty members and between the scholars will initiate. We will keep 3 months to finish this process, because it's going to take some time looking at the topic of the research, looking at that who's going to guide from your side, discussions between them. So it can't happen very quickly. But let's keep a time period of about 3 months. Dr. Silamurthy, would you like to add here? Because you are
I totally agree with you. So we will look at the areas of interest like psychology, humanities, engineering. So the existing students who have recently enrolled, who are yet to choose the topic, so that the professors at your university can also give an input, jointly design the program itself, the joint PhD thesis program, and then a supervisor in University of Ottawa and a professor from here guiding them together.
Yeah.
And part of the work done here, and part of that work they can come to Ottawa to do the research. We can file joint patents, joint publications. So I see phenomenal the possibilities, and then maybe some translational research leading to technology development, product development, process development. So all this will also will lead to innovation. So I would suggest that we will look from our side, send a basket. So your professors can choose. Yes, I want to be the co-supervisor.
Exactly. So in order to really move forward with something like that, we will obviously need a list of those students, the subject, the supervisor, and maybe if we can have a brief description of those supervisors, that would be very helpful actually.
Then they can have Zoom call together, so one-to-one.
Wonderful. So we can really match.
Then they can choose.
Yeah.
So then once they decide, yes, I want to mentor the student jointly, then I think we can move.
So maybe a question, and this is something that we can figure out later on. Do our prof need to any kind of affiliation or appointment here in order to be able to co-supervise?
No.
Right?
It is exists for a professor from outside to be an external co-supervisor. We have main supervisor here and the external co-supervisor from outside, whether within India or abroad.
Perfect, because we do have a process at Ottawa U, and we can share that information.
Yes. I guess one of the challenges here, let's be frank, will be to convince colleagues to work with colleagues here. As you know, most of our professors are very busy. They're willing to take up new students, but they will need to be convinced that it's in their line of business, that the students are good, that the colleague, they can relate with the colleague in question. So that's what I was saying this morning, the importance of having, and I agree that AI and biotech and cybersecurity are possibilities, but we cannot sort of enshrine this as a program. We would really need to have the faculty members to come together to understand, to know that there is this possibility, once they know each other, maybe to send a couple of students or so that they meet students or students participate to seminars. And then there's some convincing to do here because we all know that some people apply for the PhD full at the University of Ottawa, and it's difficult for us, it's a challenge for us to find a supervisor because supervisor said that this one I'm too busy, the other one I have too many students, so on and so forth. And no department head can say, you're going to take that student. So this is more on a sort of medium term when we get to know each other, when the faculty members know each other, then I think we could move swiftly. But that is that first sort of it's necessary to go through that first step.
So what
we fully agree with you that it takes time to understand the area of research and whether you have the supervisor on your side and we have the right supervisor from our side. We have got large number of students who apply to us, and you're 100% right that in many cases we are not able to find out the right guide also. So once I think that our students are there, our faculty members are there on study abroad program or on 3-continent program, they will be able to understand the culture of each other. But we will still send you the list of the topics where our students are interested, and these are some of the brightest scholars. And then you can look at that whether from your side the students are interested. Because I think that in the longer run, in the medium to long run, we would like to file joint patents and do commercial research also, which is good for the industry. And I think that is one major area in which maybe both the universities will be interested, involving each other for training, consulting, having some good funding projects. So I think that through research scholars and coming of the faculty of both the universities will build this trust.
Yeah, I think we'll start the thematic discussions. thematic roundtable meetings like AI. So we'll bring some 10 faculties from here, 10 faculties online. So let them discuss and say, yes, I can pick up the student, I will be willing to consider. Then we send the synopsis, and then like that, we'll enable that process to happen. If you agree.
Yeah,
right.
That process will need to be very organic, right?
Much deeper, and then it has to be horizontal, faculty to guide and so on. So, Professor Gurinder, shall I take them to Vice Chancellor?
No, I think that two more points. One was that I think that they have been able to do some wonderful joint center of excellence and lab with some good Chinese universities. So we would like to understand that, are you interested in having similar kind of structure with MIT also? So maybe in the longer run, we can make a plan that how we can do that. And I know that since Ms. Sethi is here and you have plans now to open up an office, we would like to have a dedicated office of your university within our university, and similarly our dedicated office within your university, so that if the students are applying, they are going on the program, then maybe Ms. Sethi, you can come once or twice a week, depending on how much time you have. But then we can give a good office to you. You can do liaison with the international office. You can give presentations to the students, and similarly, and that is like a campus in campus. It's a small office, but both the universities, if they will have a dedicated office space within the universities, it will bring the many activities and coordination much easier.
No, that's okay. I mean, I think it would be good to. I don't know if you are already there yet, but it would be good if you tell us exactly which specific area of expertise you want to pursue. Center, because when we talk about joint research centers, I mean, sky is the limit. So are there any specific areas you're interested in? Exactly. And then we take it from there, share it with our VP research, and see whether there is any interest among our researchers as well.
Right. So I think that you have seen our labs, and you must have seen that Tata Motors, they have been able to create a joint lab with MIT. Similarly, there are a number of other universities who are creating center of excellence. We have got Taiwanese Center of Excellence with us. We have got NYU Center of Excellence with us. So similarly, we can have Ottawa and MIT Center of Excellence in each other's university. We can start up with the office, which is looking to coordinate all the activities, and then later on can develop a lab or a center which can work and look at the priorities of both the universities and can work on fulfilling those objectives.
Well, I think we've had a fruitful session, fruitful conversation. I must say that we'll have to go soon because we have to go back downtown and sort of refresh before we have our next activity. Dr. Singh, I want to thank you again for everything and for your resilience. You've been up most of the night, obviously. We'll let you go to bed. And I want to thank the team here. The team has been extremely welcoming, has been extremely warm, and thank you for the visit. Thank you for organizing with the students and the session this morning. The two sessions we had were highlights really of the day, and we are both Sunny and I are very impressed with the campus and the facilities, and I would say the enthusiasm and the belief in the true nature of what the university should be and the importance of international relations for our institution. So I thank you for this, Dr. Singh. It is much appreciated. The teams will work together. I think we will need, certainly from our end, once the ball gets moving, we will need to have a sort of desk, and with someone who's dedicated, at least partially, if not totally, but so that there's one interlocutor from each side, and things commute through these persons, it will be much easier, and they will follow up on files, because it can get quite complicated with the visas, with the missions, the people traveling back and forth. So I think it will be important in Sunny's office and in your office to get organized. So thank you for everything, Dr. Singh. It's always a pleasure. The irony, of course, is that I go to Toronto regularly and we don't see each other, but maybe we ought to take a little time to have a drink together at some
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, and thank you for everybody. It has been a long day for you. We know it has been a long day for you, and we were thrilled to be here. And thanks again for your hospitality.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll just have a cup of tea. Of course. Yeah. So, Professor Gurinder, thank you very much. Compliments.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to you.
You were awake the whole night. Thank you so much. Sleep
Yeah,
now.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take every single point.
Yeah, we'll also.